the chants are loud, and you know that that is going to put some fear in the minds of a lot of your opponents. So you look at it. I mean, you got Gentlemates looking to turn things around. It's just, can you perform on land?
Well, and we know that Gentlemates can perform on land. They just haven't, right? They got second last year at EWC. And so when you look at the Gentlemates, you know that they're fueled by their crowd, but they're also fueled by the hope of what they've done in scrims. I mean, Inkyo's popping 1v19s. I know we all saw that clip. And also in the most recent scrim, Pop 21 kills by himself in one game. It was ridiculous. These guys have the firepower. It's about piecing them together when it matters most.
And it really brings up the question, too. If you don't perform here in Paris, do you even see the Gentlemates together next year?
Yeah.
That is one thing that I'm sure this trio is wondering. It's just, what does next year look for, like, for us if we don't turn up in this tournament right now, especially when you have a lot of rookies on the rise, not just Serial, but this Leviathan team with Criminal God.
Well, there's a lot of folks we should talk about, and you're right, 100%. There's a lot of roster questions up in the air, but this is still day one of a multi-day series. We've got a couple days of group stages, then Gentlemates are going crazy. I love those guys. Green suits are insane. Got a lot of love for them, but again, you're right. This could blow apart at the end of this if they can't piece it all together. There's a runway, though. You don't have to be top 5 at the end of our 2 days of group stages. That's nice, but there is a survivor stage. You just can't be bottom 3. I would put my house up on the fact that they're not going to be bottom 3, but hey, I've been wrong in the past, and hopefully won't lose my house today. But
you know what? Like, maybe you make it to the survival stage, and we just get to have the Gentlemates crowd just showing up on all days, not just the 3 days.
That's exactly right. There's a lot more teams we can talk about in the Group B standings, though, because I think you brought up the point right when we swapped over, that this feels like there could be some big upsets. There feels like there's some room to move in Group B. I think we'll see Falcons through no matter what. Leviathan been fairly consistent. They struggled a bit in Atlanta. Not sure the reason why. I can't imagine we won't see them at least in their survivor stage. But let's talk about some of these other teams that are a little bit more of a question mark. Miles brought up For Fun Esports, right? Let's talk about ups and downs. When the lobby is a little bit weaker, For Fun stomps everybody. It's not even close. They go through quals to get to the stage after not making it through Atlanta. They get second behind Vitality, but those two teams kind of ran away with it. Every time they've been trying to qualify for the other lands, they're stomping everybody that hasn't qualified yet. They're now in a big stage against great teams. Can they finally step up and win against great teams?
That's the thing is, I mean, you heard it from Miles too. Juju's a beast, and the community loves For Fun. It's just, if you show up here in Paris, you kind of like, you turn up and you change that narrative for your squad. Anybody can show up on the day, and I think that's a great shout, because I mean, this For Fun roster, when they are on, it is really hard to slow them down. So I'd like to see this For Fun roster. I think that there's other rosters too, like AG Global, or you look at the Vicious, New Icons, Fnatic, a lot of teams that, in the Warzone Resurgence series, they didn't really get to go to Atlanta or Birmingham, so it's like you're getting new regions as well mixed into EWC that we didn't get to see on land, and I wonder if that changes a lot.
100%, man. We could talk ad nauseum about most of these teams here on main. While we wait for the players to get all ready, we've got some really cool content we want to show you, and you'll be able to see this first map in just a moment.
Special report. The Esports World Cup is here, and Warzone has been chaos in the build-up. And if you're a little lost, don't worry, because we've got you covered in this episode of The Hot Drop. In today's news, the Falcons are still everyone's favourites, but with teams finally growing a pair and refusing to give them exactly what they want, we've never seen so much competition. Last year's winners, Twisted Minds, have changed not one, but two of their champions, with a mid-season drama that could rival any box office. They've ended up looking potentially worse. Other dark horses from North America include sides such as Virtus.pro, who have kissed and locked it in after their TIFF threatened to destroy them, and G2, who finally grew up and got over their LAN anxieties in Atlanta. Gen G are actually on their 48th drop spot and role change of the year. And to top things off, it got worse when the Gen G general manager received a barrage of abuse from the Falcons coach Mutex. In solidarity, Vitality coach Ebates released a small statement saying, "I need time to heal." Gen G's Aiden also refused to take the comments lightly. My knees hurt just watching that. Fnatic bring 3 familiar faces to EWC, while FaZe are on their 3rd roster of the year. LATAM fans will be hoping that the swag curse doesn't stretch as far as France. Speaking of the French, the Gentlemates are expected to be backed by a capacity crowd here in Paris, and they'll need them, because while their online performances have been stellar through 2026, their LAN has been considerably less impressive. So for Gromelok, Hallo, and the one as tall as 3 apples, the French have some weird sayings, don't know what to tell you, they'll be hoping to give the home fans the showing they deserve. And they aren't the only local side looking to bring a revolution, as Ravens and Orchid are here in great form too. There's actually some rumors going around that these 3 are going to mix amongst each other post-EWC. To get to the bottom of those whispers, we've put our best man on the case.
Tell me about Rostermania.
Calme-toi, frérot.
Tell me about the French super team.
Je suis la team. Je suis super.
Who's making the roster moves? Bring in the next one.
It's not just the French spicing things up, Italians, Novo, and Eclectic come here in great form too. Particularly Zanx, who's been keeping cool in the summer heatwave, playing and winning in a dress. For those of you still unsure about everything going on, we're heading live to the man with the best Warzone stream on the planet.
So, Biffle, of course we're here for the Esports.
All right. Let's get to the real questions. Diaz, are you coming back next year?
Hey, no comment.
Okay, are you Shifty and Soka's daddy? Do they need you?
100%, of course.
Do you think this is the most competitive season we've ever had now that you're gone?
I mean, everybody's hitting match point. I mean, I think the scene's in shambles, so.
All right, back to you, Enigma.
Recent competitions have been record-breaking, by the way, with 14 maps, 12 teams hitting match point, meaning literally anyone could take it. Oh, and there are 5 Rookie of the Year contenders with Spam, Sariel, Fede, Criminal God, and Praise all stepping out on the stage. Anything else? Oh, of course, yeah, the weather. Got to check in with Dan. Dan, how's the weather?
It's hot.
Never misses a beat, that guy. And that is why he's my duo. This has been the Hot Drop. I've been Enigma. Have a fantastic Esports World Cup.
Unbelievable, man. It's hot.
It's
what
hot.
a beautiful piece telling the story of the scene. Man, that was awesome, but we are about to drop into our very first map here in Group B. We got to lock back in, or I'm going to be talking about that for way too long here, Seymour. As we jump into map 1, Haven's Hollow. First look, first team pops off the page. Who is going to jump out in the first map and set the tone for Group B?
I look at everybody other than the Falcons. I think you have an expectation for the Falcons to turn up. That's without a doubt. But, I mean, Enigma was talking about in his news report, G2 over their LAN anxieties. Does that carry over to EWC as well?
Yeah.
Orchid, Rookie of the Year conversation for Sariel. How does he look off this hot drop? It's just, how do you break out the gates playing at your best? I mean, obviously, we had the format change where it's like, where now you're just looking to be not in the bottom 3 of your group to get eliminated after day 2. You're just trying to get that consistency, and you want to make sure that you can buffer that out, that you don't have to play catch-up later on.
Big key factor as the players are loading in and about to drop out of the skies here in Haven's Hollow. Big factor is, can you win your drop spots? Some of these are for free, some of them are not. Will we see some shakeups? Will we see some people casting spells, as Miles said? Let's get it. Haven's Hollow, baby.
Are we going to see Cats? We're going to see Bricks. That's the big question.
Okay, already starting out hot as the Falcons changing things up. The Falcons are up in Mansion, hunting kills and dying in the meantime. Holy moly, folks. No boat today, not in Group B. The Falcons moving around the map without twisting minds around.
Yeah, no opportunity to kind of get out the gates early if you're NIP looking for the Mansion. You gotta show up, you gotta take down the Kings, and it's not gonna be easy. You got Nemesis here as well, and these 3 are also looking to make some waves from across the pond. I had to sit down with them. They feel loose, they feel good. I'm excited to see what Nemesis can bring this weekend.
Man, I haven't watched Limax compete in a dang while here in Warzone. It's good to have him back. The Aussies really looking to represent. After doing unbelievable in the APAC region with hardly any competition, finding another floating in the sky. Noob's completely lost on what's going on and where Bray's at, somehow missing him. This is an interesting play. Again, all of the players, they all know where people usually drop and therefore wanted to change some things up. The Falcons have moved over to Mansion, causing a bit of chaos. They usually land boat on the south side of the map, but they know that 2 of the teams that dominate Mansion usually, Ravens Twisted Minds, they're in the other group. Was it free, or did they just think it was free enough? We'll see what happens with that, but we'll take a look at Leviathan over at Train Station. Mostly alone. We expected a bit of a contest, and it looks like they've actually got some early kills and pushed some people out.
Yeah, my big kind of look right now off the drop is research. I mean, this is highly populated right now. You got Fnatic, Gamix, Orchid all here, and just above them, that's going to be the Vicious, who have potential third party if this gets a little bit messy in the research. I mean, you're trying to stay a little bit loose right now. If you're Vicious, you don't want to dedicate yourself to a POI just yet. See what you can pick up on the outside. See if you can grab some exits and some early KP.
Yeah, reminder, the Vicious came from the MENA region, and they won by over 40 points against the competition over there. But this is a much more stout lobby, holistic lobby with a lot of skills, so a lot more to prove for a roster like that. Crushing their region, and a chance to at least make it a survivor stage, if not further. But you're right, research a bit mixy. We swing over to Chapel, which has been mostly cleared out here. It's actually Train that's cleaning this out, and it looks like Leviathan are going to get active. Reminder, Leviathan over at Train win their early engagements. They win their POI. They keep their anchor there. You can see them just on the backside of this mini-map, and they send their 2 fraggers out to go get some kills, hopefully. Z-Dark, Criminal God, unbelievable rookie. We're moving up, and now it's just Z-Dark moving in, trying to find some early picks, and looks like immediately sniffed out Green from the top side, throwing some warning shots, saying this is not where you're going to find a free kill. You're going to find yourself back up into the skies here shortly.
Yeah, this is where you're kind of walking into new icons as you move from station into the church. And Leviathan going to be feeling very comfortable at taking these 3 down. It's just weeding them out of these corners. That's going to be the issue, as New Icons are doing a fantastic job of just surviving, and they've actually drawn in some friends as well to come play. That's going to be For Fun Esports working in from the pond. You get caught there, you do have your anchor, so no big deal losing a couple of these fights, but we also got some stuff going down at research, as it looks like AGAL are looking to get into the mix with, what is that, 6 other squads?
Yeah, a ton of people on the north side of the map. You can see where our zone is beginning to pull here in just a moment. The big key factor, look at that little cyan blue at the bottom at boat. That's G2. Usually at Lumber, they rotated over to what felt like a free boat without the Falcons in the area. This could really open G2 up to having a fantastic map, not having to worry about the Falcons like they usually do. Here comes Scummin, swinging in, finding one. Adrenaline deeply in trouble, that entire roster. In a bit of a blender, as it looks like AG are actually having a pretty solid map. You got to remember, this AG roster is star-studded. FIFA Kills like top 10 earner in Warzone history. Scummin has found his way to top 3 positions on LAN over and over again, and this year, this roster has been struggling. Funny enough, though, Knight is one of those players that has found his way into competitive rosters recently and has had a mixed amount of success, but right now, things going well for the team.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how AGAL kind of figures this one out. You've had 3 tournaments on the year, and you've had 3 different thirds, starting off with Oki, Prodigy, and it's been a mix of bags here. Knight's going to get caught. You can put it into the rest of your team to see if they can clutch up and bring them back. You can see Scummin will be able to redeploy. You're doing a great job of just staying alive right now.
Yeah, big factor right now. The team that owns the south is G2. They're going to have to move out of boat here shortly, but they've got pretty much the entirety of the south side of the map. This is the big north battle to try to stay alive. Barely still up, no. Gets cut down, but I believe the teammates still being able to spawn back in. That's not all of AGL, but they are in a bit of blender as AGAL try to find a new position on the map to regain and recoup it. It may be Mansion, where they're going to be in for a rude awakening as the Falcons are still holding out on the top side of Mansion. But we swing over to JDG. Melvin's actually got 6 right now, playing around mid-map through Main Street. Probably going to see the likes of G2 off in the distance. There they are. They've already rotated up from boat, and they're actually skipping town. They may move all the way up to Barn here shortly to play through mid and play for a later game, especially with the amount of kills they're able to pick up already. But Slappy swinging in, catching one completely unaware. Nate Dogg lost for a moment as he was running away from a different team. Third parties are always in, folks, in Resurgence, and it looks like JDG is winning out of most of this party. Down goes Vidati as well.
And Godlike's going to have some trouble regaining. Everybody walking into the likes of JDG. This is a squad that I have on my eyes for Group B to really turn up. Birmingham 14th. They cut that in half in Atlanta to 7th place. Can they do it once more to climb the ranks here in championships? As we get the zone kind of pulling in. Everybody's moved from research back in towards the mansion. You got a whole conglomerate just trying to coexist for this rooftop.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of space in Mansion, so a nice regain. Unfortunately, there's too many people at the party, and the first team to go down is the team that we were hyping up, but they fall in the place that they are seated, 16th for AGAL.
That just shows how hard it is to regain on Haven's Hollow. But the action's not going to be done as Falcons still controlling the top of Mansion. Dongy's down, going to have to be rebought by the rest of the squad. Good slide out from Noobs, controlling the tempo, controlling the space for his squad. If you do get Dongy back in, and he will come back, Hisoka as well, going to be brought into the mix. Falcons looking good. Noobs on 3 kills.
Big look at the top side of the map as the Falcons are still farming through Mansion, but there's a couple teams on the low side that are going to stay there for a while up until this new zone. Currently, it's still G2. You can see them on your mini-map now, just out at Barn, controlling dead center of this zone. They've been in control, they're finding kills, and it's Leviathan moving over from Train, making big waves. They've won the West this entire time, and they're finding a crazy amount of kills between the 3 of these guys. They are moving with a mission. Davis Amir shows up on land, and he's showing up in game 1.
This is big for Criminal God. You know that Leviathan are going to show up to EWC. Z-Dark, Amir, the new trio on the year. Criminal God, Rookie of the Year contender inside the church. They are on the outside of the circle, just trying to work their way in. JDG going to try to recover from the bottom, the south side of our circle, moving into where G2 has barn control. And there's a whole lot still going on inside of the Mansion, over towards Coal Depot, just on the exit. That's where I'm looking at Gentlemates. Wow. Try to move in. Haven't seen too much of them.
Flank is doing a great job of camping that buy from the ultimate high on Mansion. Nobody contesting For Fun up here. You gotta remember, For Fun plays through Pond, worked their way into Mansion, and through the chaos actually found themselves in a power position. Falcons still in the area, but not contesting height as of current. A lot of blows exchanging off screen right now, and that's all on the south side of the map. It's a bunch of trades. No full teams of 3 currently, and it does look like, in the meantime, Vision here on main, NIP, they thought they might be free up at Mansion. Most expected some folks to change things up, but NIP have farmed kills up on the north side of the map. NIP leading this lobby technically in slaying prowess.
Hey, you might be thinking it's a blessing right now that everybody's trying to contest you on Mansion. They've been waiting for a little bit of company. We're getting another zone close. We head into the 4th circle. And that's where things are going to start to dwell out. It looks like that circle is going to be dead center between Barn, Mansion, as well as the outskirts of Research. That means a whole lot are going to have to rotate away from the safe zone. Mansion players who are on the roof are going to have to decide, do we jump off, do we play through the building, or do we want to play into the courtyard?
Gentlemates are stepping up in map 1. And the crowd is loving it. They made it into our first multiplier, looking at top 10. Unfortunately, Sariel goes down, and that's going to be a wipe. They do get 1.2 multi, but that's all that they're going to have moving into the next lobby. Gentlemates have 1 out on the southeast. They're going to be moving their way across bridge, across the train, and they're going to try to make their way, train cars rather, they're going to try to make their way into mid-map. Quickly, though, it looks like Showstopper Vision still setting up a great trap on top side for Fun. For Fun getting obliterated. A great play from McKean, expecting the fight. King AJ on the backside. For Fun did not know where he was, and they set up the perfect trap. Get to top 8, looking for a lot more. They got a ton of kills up here at Mansion.
That's NIP again, just cleaning up house. You still have the Vicious, Falcons, a late rotation of G2 into the Mansion as well, as just a solo is left for G2. Nemesis down to 1 as well, just towards the top right. You got trios to the bottom of Gentlemates, as well as JDG and Leviathan in some great positions to clean up everything that's about to leave this Mansion.
Yeah, we see our lone survivor of G2 being pushed up because Leviathan won out in Barn in that engagement that we missed. So down on the south side, Leviathan is still trying to win the south because Gentlemates, look at where they're up at train wreck. They're up on this train car side. They're actually on the full eastern side as they rotated up north, and that's allowed them to win an entire side of the map.
Oh my God.
And this next zone is going to be everything. But look, JDG wins the engagement against Leviathan, who've been steamrolling through the competition, but Gentlemates feel like they can third-party this, and they get here fast enough. Gromelok taking down Melvin. FLS in deep trouble. Gentlemates finding kill after kill, weeding out the competition, and now they are alone on the south side of the zone, while everybody else is trying to figure out who's going to move first out of Mansion.
That was messy from Leviathan. They lose the 2v3, and because it was drawn out, Gentlemates, they get to clear clean it up. They're going to be solo on the south side, just looking to pick the bones of what comes out of this mansion.
Usually whoever moves first loses, but everybody moving a bit too late, so the Falcons go first, and they swing around the right side, having some intel, hearing the gunshots on the left side of Mansion as everybody's leaving. Falcons actually get out for free somehow because Adrenaline, trying to find his opponents, realizes they're on the other side of the wall. Now Donkey's already rotating. He's got an angle to play for this. Whoever comes out on top of this fight between Adrenaline and King AJ, and I don't know who's going to win this, but the Falcons are going to reap all the rewards. Especially with a zone pull like this. Look at what the Falcons have just pulled. Falcons get the pull, and Gentleman's immediately move to try to get some intel, see where the earliest team is to rotate, see if they can get there first. They clean up.
Gentlemen's are going to take the long way around. They know that they need to beat the Falcons to this new ring. They're going to bunk up in the house. Falcons on the inside, they get caught in the rotation.
No
Doggy and
way.
Hisoka are gone.
Gentlemates poised, ready to prove to the crowd that they are the team that they want them to be. The Gentlemates take map one.
Hometown, home crowd, and look at the green suits. Getting hyped for their squad. Opening up Group B with a banger, controlling the south side, rotating accordingly, playing for position, and reading that end circle perfectly. Falcons from the inside of Mansion, they bunk up, they go for the change up, they contest NIP, and man, they did a great job at getting into that top two. But what a read from Gentlemates just to get a better angle on that last fight.
Crowd is already electric, man. And again, we were talking about things going to script maybe in Group A, which is, I say, debatable. Gentlemates on top early, not according to script. Not the script that we've seen on land, at least. But it is according to the script that we've seen online. Gentlemates, very strong team, playing very well. Let's take a look back on what they were able to do. We see them early rotate. You called it out well. They go long, deep into the gas to try to beat the Falcons, who actually rotated first. The Falcons were so a bit disorganized in this rotation because they were so focused on the other fight across the way coming out of Mansion. They thought they could pick up a crazy amount of kills and then get shot in the back, and then they're down in player advantage, and the Gentlemates are able to clean up.
It's crazy too, because 2 more seconds and that could have been NIP in that position instead of the Falcons. I think, you know, you look at NIP, who were faced with such a hard, difficult task in game 1. I mean, they thought they were going to be Mansion alone. Everybody's going to be contesting you. A ton of teams are dropping in to play around you, especially with Falcons stepping up like that. Like, that is hard for NIP, and they stepped up in game 1.
I mean, there's a even much larger macro conversation we can have about the Falcons playing north side of the map in general. You got to remember, Gentlemates play out of Cole usually. G2 down in Lumber, they usually could engage because the Falcons are a stone wall, but the Falcons weren't there, so G2 rotated out, and Gentlemates had everything for free. Crazy stuff, so much fun here in game 1. We got a lot more for you in game 2 in just a moment. Can the Gentlemates maybe go back-to-back on Haven's Hollow? Woo, we got some cool stuff here in just a moment. We'll be right back.
We were there. For every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind. And we're here. Now. The proud founding partner of EWC. Powering the biggest event in gaming. Shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible.
We've decided to hop on over to Allianz Vault and check in with Trav because we have Street Fighter going on here and we want to see how things are going so far.
Yeah, well, so far, it's been a day of the Falcons, whether that be good or bad, to be honest with you, because the favorite of the entire competition in the reigning champ from 2024 and 2025 kind of flew out of the competition in a bit of a surprising way. Yeah, Zhao Hai will no longer be competing in Street Fighter. He got bounced out of this, and he got bounced out of Fatal Fury earlier in the Esports World Cup as well. His teammates, though, kind of making it up for a little bit. Cryme and also Mickey have been doing a little bit better, still powering through their brackets. But it's very much a disappointment for Falcons because he was the one they expected to win. But in other news, it's Zeta Visions, the Rejects, that have also still got a lot of participation in Street Fighter. They're looking to try and get some points on the board as well.
All right, we're seeing a little bit of a trend here with Falcons struggling to get that win that they're looking for in games that they were expected to do really well. So we'll check back in a little bit and see who ends up taking the whole thing home in Street Fighter.
Falcons might be struggling on other stages, but they're not struggling here. For God Warzone Resurgence Championship at EWC 26, second place in this match.
Yeah, and I think just you look at the club championship, you go back to the first EWC, when Falcons were signing rosters, the Warzone space is where they were anticipating to get their championship. The fact that we're 4 weeks in now and they still don't have one, yeah, they're riding on this team right here.
They're depending on it. They really need it. If they're actually able to get it, they're going to jump up on the leaderboard, and that's something that the Falcon fans are going to be looking to do. Earlier, you told me you had a hot take, and I'm so sorry. We didn't have enough time during our segment to actually talk about it. But Gentlemates getting the first win.
I know, and my hot take's not going to hit all that hard, but the numbers coming into this, Gentlemates had a lot of disappointment. You talk about the metrics, average score per game, Falcons lead the way with 21.5, Gentlemates 16.1. Average placement, 5th for Falcons, 9th for Gentlemates. They have not done well. So my hot take from Group A was that we were going to see the Ravens not auto-qualify in the top 5. They were going to have to fight their way through survival. They've got a 12-point cushion. I still think they may have to fight their way back in. The Gentlemates, I think, here this weekend are not going to disappoint. I think they finished top 5 in their group. It's not going to hit that hard, obviously, now because they just won the first game.
I mean, Gentlemates teams is still going to be happy, if we're being completely honest, because that is the way that the hometown heroes want to start. And do you believe, Shift, in maybe a possible hometown buff?
It very well could be. I think it's just watching them over the course of the last couple of weeks, especially through scrims, they're starting to get more active in the late game to make sure they're in the right positions to win. We saw that perfectly, chipping away down train, making their way back over to the bottom side of the zone where it's free. They're making the right reads, the right moves, and they're ripping teams apart on the way. Great news for G-Mate fans.
And it's going to be great news for G-Mates, and honestly, great news for Falcons, for some of the other squads here as well. I'm looking at AGAL for this squad. This is a squad that we're going to talk about the club championship.
Yep.
They have started to slow down in regards to other stages, but here they need to start performing as well.
I mean, that's a really tough opening finish for them. They start to get a lot of kills off the get-go, but everyone's staying alive. No one's falling off that leaderboard, and all of a sudden you finish 16th. So I think they got to trust their slaying, got to find the survivability.
And I want you to be the coach right now. I'm going to put you on the spot. You got to be the coach of AGAL. You're going up to them. What are you telling them?
Stay sexy. I don't know.
Hey, that may end up working. You never know what actually ends up working with some of these teams. As long as the confidence is there for some of these squads, they'll be able to bounce back from it. And I'm pretty sure AGL, we're going to be looking to see if they can actually bounce back on this second match of Group B.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Shift and Mr. Seven. I don't know what that last sexy comment was, but I will say this. I know we like seeing good placement. Kills are so important. I'm looking at leaderboards. I'm looking at mathematics. The Falcons only had 8 kills, man. A 1.4x multi doesn't do a whole lot for that. They're barely inside the top 10.
No, I mean, we talked about how top-heavy Group A was. I mean, right out the gates for Group B, you got Gentlemates popping off with 35 points. And then right below that is NIP with 26.6 points coming out of Mansion on top in that contest against the Falcons. So where you thought Falcons were doing well just by getting to the end game, they didn't find any kills because NIP were cleaning everything up. And NIP were right there along the way, farming kills, getting their placement. Top 3 was good enough for them to be in second place after game 1.
Yeah, I mean, they played really well. 19 kills out of a chaotic mansion is really impressive. Now, this is something that we almost always have seen in group stages. With a team as confident as the Falcons, I don't know that they will ever go back to boat in group stages. Maybe they do. After a map like that, maybe they swing it right back to boat and they tell G2, get the heck out of here, go play against Gentlemates, make it a little bit more difficult for them. That's very possible. But something that the Falcons like to do in group stages where they know they're going to make it to the next stage. There's no question in their minds, is they get weird. They try to drop on other teams. They go to positions that you haven't seen them before. But of course, the Gentleman's fans are losing their minds because, hey, this is feeling like a lot more of what we saw from the Gentleman's last year. You gotta remember, Gentleman's got second. They got the silver medal at EWC last year. This is a great team, and they've got a great responsibility in front of a crowd like this to really show up on home. And it's so far in map 1, it gives them a huge buffer to be able to play maybe a little inconsistent and be fine on our leaderboard.
This game number 2 is going to be really determined on what our initial zone is going to be looking like. You know, if the Falcons want to go to Mansion again, you talked about how big of a macro change that was for Gentlemates, his having pure freedom of the South, being able to pick and choose which fights they wanted to take. You just had to play Leviathan, you had to play JDG, you win both of those initial fights. That third party was perfect with that really contested match between JDG and Leviathan. So I think that I look at the map going into game number 2. I want to see where this circle is going.
Yeah.
I want to see where these drops are looking like.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you even can bring up the same conversation with Orchid, right? They're a northern map team. They play in No Name. They play just outside of Research, and they really couldn't get anything going because there is like 15 teams all around Research and into the mix around those train cars on the north side. AGAL was up there just getting weird, and it just caught everybody by surprise. Some of these teams playing a little bit different than they have in scrims or otherwise, which is the name of the game in group stages, especially here at EWC. You got 12 games, folks. There's a little bit of a room for error, but we told you the map through Group A. You need 16 points on average a game. Gentleman's just scored 35, folks. We are dropping into game 2 here shortly, and I'm pumped to see where this zone goes because this is going to dictate where some of these teams drop.
I like the idea of just having like weeks and weeks of scrims, being like, yeah, this is what we're going to do, guys. This is what you can do. Day 1 group stage, you're like, nah, let's change it up. Let's be weird, and let's make everybody else panic. That's like what the Falcons are thinking.
Well, let's get into it, folks. Our second Havens Hollow map. Everybody flying in, ready to rock and roll. Quick look at the map, and whew, things have changed dramatically as we swing, yes, to the north, but this time to Research. Half our first circle is out of bounds, folks. Look at G2. They have Boat and Lumber, both of them off rip. The entire south is G2, completely alone down there. It did look like the Falcons went back up to Mansion. But other than that, all teams trying to figure out how the heck do we get to Research and when do we get to Research?
Yeah, you got 5 teams just lingering around Research, 3 teams inside Mansion. Alone on the left side is going to be Nemesis, having to make that long rotation from train station into the circle at some point, and while they do it, they're going to have to cross paths with JDG, which gave them an issue in the last time, and out the gates for a lot of these drops, just trying to fight for position. We're starting off with AGAL in the barn.
Yeah, and this is where they traditionally land, Barn Chapel area, and so it's a big win this time to actually win against Fnatic and therefore not have to scramble about where to go and where to regain. They did a pretty good job of doing that for a little while and then get last. So a lot of eyes on this team, and it does look like we're down to 15 out of 16 already. We'll try to get a read on which team is already out of here. But if that's true, at least they're doing a little bit better than last time. As we take a look at what's going on up at Mansion, it looks quiet just because this POI is big. The Falcons are here. Leviathan here as well, electing to abandon train station, immediately rotate up or land up here at Mansion and be able to play with NIP, who, like you mentioned, look at the scores on the right-hand side. NIP put up a banger map at 19 kills, so they picked up 2 in this one. As the Falcons playing low side after getting put in a little bit of a blender to kick things off.
Yeah, Leviathan are sitting in 3rd place on the leaderboard after game 1, so you can test NIP, maybe take some of their kills away. Like, that's not a bad game plan at all. It's still very early days. Why not change things up before it's too little, too late? So trying to find some positioning, find some space to coexist around the Mansion. Will be Leviathan actually getting walked up on by NIP.
Yeah,
do not want to meet this team the way that they played game 1.
That's just bad timing. He was reloading, turning a corner. Mistake or otherwise. That's a rough one. And we swing around the corner and get another one. NIP getting real mixy, feeling very comfortable in Mansion. They've been repping here for a while now, and they're trying to prove that it is theirs. Go play somewhere else. G2, like I said, they had the entire south side of the map to work with. They've moved all the way up from Boat and Lumber, and they're moving back up to central position. This is the same rotation they did last time, moving up towards Mansion. They played up at Barn, played through Barn, and unfortunately got pushed out of Barn. This time, they're going to play a little bit lower in Trainwreck, trying to prepare for some of these teams that are rotating in from the west.
It's an earlier rotation, too. I think because of that, they're getting that space, that positioning first, and they're actually going to beat JDG here. If they can win this battle versus JDG, that's going to be a big change from game one.
Vidati on your screen after playing outside of Barn and getting pushed out by AGAL, looking for a few more kills on rotation. Nemesis having to swing in and getting deeply in trouble. This is the problem with a zone like this. If you rotate too late, you're just going to get hamstrung by 3 different teams. And the question is, which one can you win against, and how far can you push through the storm? As we swing in from the gas and get up to AGAL, who's holding now from Barn. G2 are in a bit of trouble. We'll swing over to him. There they are. JDG yet again proving a problem in mid-map. They continue to win these weird engagements, knocking some teams out that aren't expecting the ferocity that Melvin and co. come swinging through with.
Yeah, their rotations are just perfect right now, and they are proving to be an issue through mid-map. Across Barn, you can see a lot of teams still active as we get getting into the closing portions of this second circle. Minute 24 left before we get into the third, and we get towards closing that resurgence pocket. So just trying to see who can find some space here as things are about to get weird around the Barn. AGAL still getting walked up on by Nemesis, but they are gatekeeping them.
Nice pickup there from Showstopper. Trying to maintain some semblance of control over Machin as it still stays inside of zone. We did see KGV, who are a bit of a blender. They did get full wiped there in 14th. Missing a few teams on the map. Falcon still here, NIP still here, Leviathan still here and still fighting. A moment for all of these teams to try to pick up a couple kills. Criminal God does get cut down. Anxiety's trying to find something in the regain here at Mansion. Yet again, in a blender, G2 getting pushed out of mid, going to Mansion and getting cut down immediately as well. G2, they did get a flyer up onto the map, but that's about it. Scythe way off in the distance now in deep trouble as Showstopper's continuing to hunt down G2 and will get it in time. G2 gone. A frustrating Havens Hollow for a team that traditionally puts up solid points.
I'm sure that's something that you're going to go back to the drawing board to figure out what the heck just happened with our Havens. Back-to-back bombs over towards Mansion. So moving around for day 2. Will that be a change up for G2? Looking over towards train station. We do have Gentlemates looking to move into the coal depot, actually, to see if they can play up against Godlike, who wanted to rotate away from Research to look for some positioning outside the circle and some safety nets. But Gentlemates are breathing down their necks, and they are looking to dominate the south side.
Yeah, I mean, this time, this is where they land, right? So this time they get to stay put for a while rather than rotating towards Mansion. The zone has pulled east as Ahsoka wins a nice one over the top. And then the Aussies back to the lobby as well. Still looking for our first multiplier here with one more, as all 3 members of the Falcons still up. Donkey on 6, so doing a better job this time to find kills. At least on 8 as a trio. And actually, I'll call it 7. Noobs with not a kill to his name yet. 1 for Soka, 6 for Dongi. So need one more to match last map. And then they got second. Plenty of room still to find some more kills on the map, especially still having to fight through NIP and Leviathan.
You actually got, we were hyping up JDG. They're starting to get contested by AGAL, who've just been sitting up in Barns. So you look at JDG, who've been fantastic on this rotation through the streets in towards Research across this stream. AGAL is trying to prove to be an issue, and they're actually pinching them between 3 other trios. So if JDG, if this gets messy for you, you have potential to get third party. You gotta be very careful with your next move.
Unfortunately, holders get held, man. They just rotated too late. They were trying to hold the western side of the map, picked up a couple kills in transition, but then were too late to move. Now they're getting held. Classic Warzone story to see if AGAL can find their way out of it. Certainly JDG continue to find kill after kill. It's actually a PA that cleans up 1 of this Leviathan roster, but they're striking back. Criminal God has found an angle. He's on 4. He's gonna try to push this fight, especially with Slappy down. Even though Dark's out, he could find that frag, doesn't get it. Gonna get actually a buyback on Dark, not wasting any time.
Yeah, it's going to be important for Leviathan as well as JDG to find some sort of positioning inside of Research. Criminal God's going to get picked off by the Precisions. That buyback does not make a difference. Still just 2 players left for Leviathan, but with players starting to move away from the Mansion and Barn, you just cannot be in this position right now for your Leviathan. You got to find some space in Research.
Let's do a quick listen in with the Falcons to see what's going on in their heads.
D2, fuck up. Eddie, keep watching the attic. You should try to zip up in the attic, Eddie. And just start glitch it. going. I haven't heard shit. There's a guy at G2 side.
Yo, crossing out G2 here. That's showing them. That's show.
Yeah. We cracked him, one shot.
Okay, I'm gonna try to take space. Yeah, the team mansion went to G2. At least a couple of them.
Small plats, breeze. Small plats.
Shooting me from the train. We gotta cross again. The other kid in front is gonna shell us. Oh, I'm gonna try to cross again one more time.
Guy on your left. I cracked him on your left. One shot on the train. Knocked him.
I heard you. Stay there, Dong. Stay there, Dong. And the red train caught on my danger. Be careful your right. Okay, I heard you.
Knocked on green ping.
I heard you. I'm trying to stay down. Yo, Ed, your small might be clear. I can't lie.
I think it is.
There's at least 2 G2. That's one of them. Nice. Another one at the red train car. I got one of them. He's almost cracked it. Cracked him in the red train cart. Okay, I heard you. They could be under you, small Eddie. Yeah, we're missing one. There's one G2. We're missing.
What did we hear from the comms? A ton of intel pointing out where do we go, how do we get there, which teams are crossing, and which ones can we pick up in transition. Through all of those comms, they got a ton of intel and 2 kills to boot, and you can actually see they are the only team now on the north side outside of research, so they're going to be outside looking in. Look at this zone pull. They're actually going to be in zone playing for multi now. The question is, can they pick up more kills?
Yeah, you can choose whether or not to play towards the waterfall, play towards the back trains. You got a lot of people going to be walking in front of you with AG Global still trying to vie for some position over towards the top shack. They're going to walk right into Gentlemates, actually still fighting for the south side. This is something that they did back in game 1. They're doing it once again. FIFA kill brings it into a 2-on-2 for this battle.
FIFA kill in a great spot over the top and actually almost scams. Grom gets out in the open for a hair too long to get the buyback. And it would have been a loss to go for that buy and not stay alive. Can he get anything for it? FIFA get cut down by the Falcons though, and Grom trades. Ekio picks up the final on Knight. Down go AGAL with a little bit of help from the Falcons. The Gentlemates win an engagement that shouldn't have been very difficult. They're able to find their way out, and now they own the western side of the map. The Falcons, the north, everybody else is a dead center of research.
Yeah, both Gentlemates and Falcons have great position outside of research, and you imagine that the zone most likely is going to pull away from this building. So with Gentlemates on the ultimate height, they're going to be able to watch anybody who wants to leave this, but first they're going to look at the Gentlemates.
Gentlemates selling one yet again to play out in the open. Falcons doing a great job to pick up these easy kills. Again, that's 3 different kills. Basically, can they get another one? Master 5K with a little bit of an assist there. Puts the Gentlemates down to 1. Out in the open proves difficult for the Gentlemates to find what piece of cover they need to stick behind, getting shot from multiple angles. And now Hollow's going to wait out this next zone pull. And it goes outside of research, or at least mostly. The Falcons, yet again with a zone pull, find themselves into a power position, waiting on everybody else. And usually you would say, much like last map, this is a bit too slow for them for these points to matter, but they've found 4 or 5 now, just by people being too far out in the open and Dongy shooting straight. But look at research.
That's 7 trios still existing inside of research. And Falcons, their ultimate height is still going to be in that circle. So Gentlemates are looking for position inside the rankings, but no, they're going to get caught. Hollow's out. Gentlemates are out. No back-to-back for the Gentlemates. And now with the Falcons, all they got to do is wait to see what comes out from this research.
This is where Orchid lands. They play up near research. Been battling in a position here since the very beginning of the map. It's actually Leviathan getting full team wipes off screen. Volcom now on screen, getting traded out from the backside. Master 5K here as well, finding the angle on Volcom's back. Nice trade from a roster that has been deadly since Atlanta. We'll see what NIP can do, who also made a great rotation to the bottom side here of research. I'm going to trade out, actually. Looks like at least 1 player of Gamax.
And inside this final circle, you got Falcons, NIP, and Leviathan all rounding out that top 5 of this leaderboard still. So this would be a big game for if any of them can walk away with a win.
Good grief, look at this zone. Falcons actually lose 1 in transition. A great find over the top from Orchid. Again, they've had this height position on research that gives them a bunch of intel over the top. And actually just going to go for the kill. Swizzen full sends this. Picks up 1. Should pick up 2, no problem. The third, though, Showstopper makes a big play on Swizzen. Orchid at least lose 1 with a very aggressive play. We say you got to play for kills, but look at the placements. You cannot fall at 6 here. You need the multiplier. And Sardo's running straight into danger. Swizzen barely alive and barely breathing, but finding kills. He's still alive. As NIP also on 1 HP in a dream. Showstopper using all of his stims to stay up for a moment, and then finally goes down. JDG striking, and all of a sudden we went from 6 teams to 2, and the Falcons have their prey in their talents. The Falcons win game 2 after a second place game 1.
That was a cluster of energy that went into that last final circle. You can't say that for the Falcons. They're chilling everybody down. But Research was busy, and you had teams fighting for that win to see if they can get themselves through that top 3 into that #1 pole position, exiting Havens Hollow. JDG with a 2nd place finish. That is going to be big for them as they were sitting in 3rd place going into that 2nd game. And with Leviathan as well, looking to knock down Gentlemates, looking to knock down NIP. I can't wait to see what this does to our standings.
Yeah, that's gotta feel good if you're the Falcons. Play through Mansion, play up at a just diabolical Research zone.
That was free.
And did they get the pulls again? There's something about this Falcons team, man. They get the pulls every single time. Now, traditionally speaking, when we see the zone pull up towards Research, you don't see a Research building ending. It does usually pull out. And I mean, I have to say this. I'm going to get made fun of in the green room because I use this every broadcast. But the layer cake that is Research Center is truly the best way to describe what happened. You counted out 7 teams all stacked on top of each other, and I like the aggressiveness from some of these rosters to just full tilt, full sin, knowing they need the points, because they're just trying to get top 5. I mean, you need kills. Why not just full sin and see what happens?
You got to give a lot of respect to the teams that were able to make it into Research. You had Leviathan there who dropped Mansion.
NIP.
They were scrambling to get some regain. You had NIP also dropping struggled to regain back over towards Research, but they got it done. And JDG, who starts over by Church pretty much in the Straits bowling alley, and they make it all the way across to Research to make it into top 2. Like, that is tippy out of these teams to survive.
Well, listen into the celebrations at the end of this one.
Good shit. Good shit. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Good shit.
Textbook. No huge celebrations because they knew they were going to win that one. I mean, they had it in the bag for a while. Last 3 zones even, especially when they picked up Gentlemates in transition. Golly. That's got to be a brutal one for the Gentlemates who desperately wanted to go back-to-back, but they still put up a couple kills. Everything was mostly fine. I think the biggest question mark is G2 coming out of Havens Hollow, probably near bottom of the leaderboard. Wild to even say that out loud for a team that's been dominating on a map like this. We'll see whether they're able to swing back in their form in Rebirth Island.
You gotta chalk it up a little bit to that zone pull RNG as well. I mean, how unlucky is it that you drop Riverboat back-to-back and you're forced to rotate early into Mansion in both games? Like, that is not easy for anybody to do. Yeah. And in game 2, like, you just look at the way that JDG is playing, you look at the way that AG Global are playing, and the way that they're able to command the middle of the map through Barn. Like, you are making a rotation there if you're G2 across some very strong slaying, some very strong gatekeeping teams. So it's like, you're walking out of Havens, like, that was a tough game. I hope that they don't hang their heads low, because it's a bad scenario. It's unlucky.
But yeah, especially when JDG is playing like this. JDG picked up 7th in Atlanta, but since then have been looking like they're in final form, including today. It's a good call. G2 did play from the south side of the map to the north, both maps. Technically speaking, Rebirth Island has actually been their best map for the course of the series. So they're actually, I believe, one of the top ranked teams on Rebirth Island as well. And today, I would even venture to say there's a chance they could be free because they play up at Bio, and not a lot of teams are playing Bio these days. Well, with all of that in mind, though, so many fun conversations. There's a lot more we got to talk about. We're going to take a very quick look at some content as we get into Game 3 here shortly and take a look at Rebirth Island.
He can come in here and play my game. He knows nothing but go!
Tyler 1, you're done.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Esports World Cup 26. Miles and Enigma here. We're with the Gentlemates fans. Not a bad map.
No, not at all. Great map one, of course, for them. They've got to see their team take that map here in Paris, France. We knew that they would be under a lot of pressure, but when you're backed by a crowd like this, you feel that passion, you feel that blood run through your veins, and you're ready to step out and deliver, and they're doing exactly that.
Now, I want to ask a fan here, sir, what do you think the squad need to do to find the win?
Je pense qu'ils doivent se servir de l'énergie du public. Ils savent quoi faire, c'est le meilleur roster du monde et nous on sera là pour les soutenir et ils vont tout arracher.
Bonne chance, bonne chance. Did you get that?
Picked up about 4 words. I'm working on it. I'm getting a little bit better with the French. A word here and there. Thomas in particular helps me out a little bit, but I'll be honest with you now, I'm a little bit lost.
The duo logo is not helping. I mean, what do you think, though, of the match so far? Falcons, obviously, sitting up top there. A big 21.
Yeah, I think the second map in particular showed classic Falcons. They rotate out of action, take the north side of the zone, and walk in with the gas and lock everybody else out. It's what they do. They've been doing this for years, so for the closer for good reason. There is, of course, going to be great competition for them here, but while they look like that, we can expect them through to Sunday.
And he is my resident subject matter expert. I mean, as we saw in Group A, Group B here as well, it seems to be the top dogs on top so far. Are you expecting much of a change in the next few months?
No, I think that we are seeing those sides that were under pressure deal with that incredibly well. We have, of course, got your Falcons, your Twisted Minds up towards the top. I don't see that changing much, and to be fair, when you sit in this room and you feel the energy, any team that's going to come into this an underdog going to feel a little bit more uncomfortable when these fans are doing incredible things to back their sides and not wanting you to do anything out there on the map.
A huge thank you to all the fans who have turned up here, and the noise you are making is something very, very special. We've still got plenty of games to play here on the first day of Warzone, but mate, any surprises? Anything that shocked you as a real resident Warzone player?
I think the Ninjas in Pajamas are just being incredibly bold and aggressive, getting at the Falcons and taking it to them. Fair play, we want to see it right now. Top teams on top.
We are ready to roll. Can we get one more, Gentlemates? How are we feeling? Going in to the next map. It's back to the casters.
All right, Gentlemates, so glad I can't hear myself think, and that's the way we want it here in France, folks. Paris has been a dream. Haven's Hollow, a dream for some, and a nightmare for others. You see teams like NIP on top of our leaderboard by a couple points over Falcons, with JD Gaming in third overall. Gentlemates still finding their way to top 5 with Leviathan. But, I mean, we got godlike new icons down at the bottom of the leaderboard trying to turn things around going into Rebirth Island.
I think that we knew that a couple of these rosters coming out from regions that may be a little bit less practiced than, you know, NA and EU who've been at WRS for, you know, Birmingham and Atlanta. Like, it would be a little bit of tough. Godlike's a big surprise. You didn't get to see too much of Nate Dogg or Intex really kick off. They were just scrambling off the gates yet again back on Rebirth, or on Haven's Hollow. But now we go to Rebirth Island and we see if a lot of these teams can maybe bounce back after those first 2 maps. Maybe it was a little bit unlucky zone pulls. You guys struggled to get those rotations going. We talked about that with G2, and I think a lot of people will be looking at going into the second wave with a different mindset.
All right, biggest question in my mind is where the heck are the Falcons dropping? They usually drop Kim alone. Nobody likes to contest them, but did they change things up just to put everybody on their heels? Rebirth Island is here, folks. We've seen it 1,000 times, and likely we'll see it 1,000 more, but today, only twice. We get into the first map. Will G2 be alone up at Bio? Will the Gentlemates be alone in living quarters? And will the Falcons land right on top of the Gentlemates' head just to throw them off balance? Let's drop in to our first Rebirth Island map of Group B. It does look like the Falcons are returning to form up at Kim all alone.
Yeah, they're going to have Fnatic just below them in Harbor, and Orchid maybe giving them a look from top of Prison. G2 back to basics over at Bio. A lot of teams just kind of sitting down looking for their drop spots. The big thing's going to be Stronghold for me, because you look at Gentlemates, who had a fantastic Haven's Hollow. They drop living quarters and they're already contesting Lev down low and strong.
And we'll swing over there when we get the chance, but of course we got to take a look at Control Center. It's hotly contested in both groups. And even in this one, Trick Empathy, we talked about Godlike, we talked about a team at the bottom of the leaderboard. Trick Empathy is one of an individual basis, one that usually is at the top. As an individual, has been a hero for this team, and a lot of folks have been chattering about what he could be able to do even with a different roster. Today, that roster's struggling on the chaos of Haven's Hollow. We take a look, though, at maybe what they could do from boat. Here's a look the factory side as we take a look at, looks like maybe VC could get active here and go play for somebody else. The problem is they're getting stabbed in the back just repeatedly by the Falcons who are bored. So do need to be careful about this factory play. When the Falcons get comfortable, they do swing up on JDG and win an engagement, a 3v1 with one more outside. JDG do need to stay alive if they can, and they're actually in deep trouble. They're third up floating in the skies.
Yeah, he's just going to float his way on down, let everybody else research, just get back into the flow of things. JDG had a fantastic map 1 and map 2. Don't expect them to fall so early on Rebirth. All 16 teams still alive. Everybody's looking for their loadouts, and for VC, they're going to be primed and ready to go in the docks of Factory. Leviathan, who are out in Stronghold. Yeah, it went up against Mates. It looks like they're going to go up against Mates yet again.
Yeah, I mean, this is classic, right? Mates up at living quarters. Leviathan down in Stronghold. Striking first, Criminal God, the fragger, coming up to get busy. Their anchor nice and safe in Stronghold with no one within a country mile. So let's send the rookie out to go make some big plays. Doing great today. Let's see if they can keep up that momentum. This is feeling a lot more like Birmingham for this roster and a lot less like Atlanta.
And that's what we want to see out of Criminal God, especially vying for that Rookie of the Year position. Mates have actually backed all the way down, and you can see that we got a little bit of a push in from AGAL.
For Fun just got wiped, folks. For Fun getting conned at, I think it was Turbine still. Nothing changed for them, but they're losing the early engagement. A lot of eyes on For Fun to step up in a big way in a stronger lobby. So far, not the case. See if they can turn things around in the second map of Rebirth, as they are the first team out. Trick and Empathy continuing to find some regainers on the outside of Boat. A couple kills here, a couple kills there, maybe all you need as the Aussies swim away.
Group B, not for fun just yet. So again, we just kind of like look at Rebirth, and a lot of teams have actually been contesting each other on these rotations. I'm still looking at G2, we're looking for the bounce back as they're going to go from the north side in towards Turbine. They've already backed AG Global away. Anxiety has been in the kill feed a lot. KGV, big kills up against Nemesis. Kazu playing into control.
Got a sniper on main, cracking plates, and that's about it. Smash Burger Dad 78 is a ridiculous tactic. All right, good luck here, Gooey. I can appreciate the plays. We'll swing back over to the Vicious, see what they're able to do here on the map. Quick look at the map feed, though. You can see where everybody's positioned. G2 was up at Bio. They've elected to rotate in. Looks like Anchor swinging through Industries, getting told that, hey, Turbine's free. Come rotate to us, or we'll hold it down for you while you make your way this direction. Big Man actually finding one in transition as well, so watch out for that G2 roster who desperately needs points. While still on main, the Vicious hunting down a couple solos. A couple of individuals. Fnatic maybe in trouble or causing it. Let's see. One, Resolve gets it, but gets traded out immediately. Great job there from the Vicious. Playing together well here on Rebirth Island.
And Criminal God stays alive just enough for Leviathan to not get outed just yet. Predict trying to keep Solds alive here for VC. Solds just sitting inside the boat. Enough time to your teammates to bring themselves back into the map, but this has been a chaotic Rebirth Island so far, and everybody just crossing paths. Circle still very much central. Nothing really to look at in terms of where do you want to set up this positioning. A lot of teams going to be playing still through Prison for Control, for Factory, Living Quarters, lots of positions still open. And I think we saw new icons get eliminated there, so we're down to 14 trios now.
Right now it's an anchor game. Everybody having their fraggers out on the map, try to go get some kills. Godlike in a bit of trouble up here at Boat. Nate Dogg gonna have to be a hero. Trick Empathy plates back up. We're trying to hunt down the last remaining members of this Gamax roster. Maybe a thorn in the side, but at least Godlike haven't had to leave the boat since the beginning of the map, and they found kills to boot. So, hey, keep challenging us is probably what they're saying. We need the points. We're able to all stay up, stabilize, take boat back, and wait for what this new zone offers. They don't really need to move if people keep coming this direction, so they're going to chill here. Look to see if we can swing out. There it is, to Stronghold to see what's going on. The Leviathan have their two fraggers up into the map. They've lost their lives a couple times, one floating back in, it looks like over the top of Living Quarters, but Amir can't really leave. He's in a very strong position if the zone didn't pull up towards Central, like Seymour said, so he's going to have to go for a dip, go for a swim, see if he can find his way up to safety. Unfortunately, There's a couple more folks in the water trying to do the same as per the usual here on Rebirth Island. So Amir, swim well, my friend, and Godspeed. I just wish you the best.
And when you're in Rebirth Island, when in doubt, swim it out. Leviaton's still not eliminated as well. I mean, they still are holding on to their life.
You saw a quick glance up at HQ to see NIP holding down HQ for free. This time, NIP unconned at their usual drop spot at HQ. Have a nice power position. The big question is how many kills have they been able to pick up through the course of this map as Zedar continues to swim for his life. I know we love looking at these folks in the water with a pistol. Wow. I use this stat often. We've been talking about it in the green room. This pistol is the 3rd ranked weapon on Rebirth Island because of this right here. It happens over and over and over again. The people go swimming thinking they can live a bit longer and their teammates can get back to the map, but unfortunately for a team like Gamax, they will finally all get wiped together and therefore be out of the lobby.
Down to 13 trios. Circle heading into the 3rd. Now as we're going to be close to closing that Resurgence pocket. And it's still pretty central. I mean, you got Control Center, Prison, Turbine, lots of places to sit and wait. Big thing is now we have to bring into the conversation teams like Falcons now having to leave Chemical Engineering, move up the mountain, and they're being contested by Orchid, JDG, another team that has to make some moves. They're walking into VC, Predict goes down, Slappy in the feed, alongside Melvin with 2 kills, trying to move their way inside Factory and inside the safe zone.
Quick look back at Control. What's been happening for KGV? Been able to hold down middle Control, just waiting for a team like Godlike to leave this boat. I just see Trick on 7 kills. They haven't left the boat the entire time. What a ridiculous Rebirth Island thus far for a guy. Look at him. 3,000 damage, 7 kills. Criminal God goes down as well. Leviathan in a deep and utter blender, but still on the map. As we just see this team pick up the kills of all the regainers. Hey, it's a strategy. It works. We see a full team rotating in, though, finally. Maybe contesting Godlike. AGAL, unfortunately, getting cut down in transition by Anxiety, though. FIFA kill down. It's going to be a 2v3 on boat if they want it.
Yeah, this north side through Turbine has been hell so far for AGAL. G2 starts bio, they flip it out. They've just been continuously keeping AGL on their back foot, and moving into a team like Godlike right now is not really what you want to do. If you're AGAL, just trying to look for some space to live. The circle is going to be closing in the next 40 seconds. This is where I'm looking at teams to start to move up the mountain. Teams to look at still Gentlemates sitting in living quarters. It's going to be the slow side. Lots of time to move up, but other teams like Nemesis, who are starting in Stronghold, are going to have to cross into that boat for Godlike and AGAL, and all while getting picked off by a sniper in the hands of Showstopper.
Listen, we've had this conversation about HQ over and over again. If it's uncontested, and you can just sit your anchor up at the top of the tower, might as well pull out a sniper and see if you can pick up some free kills. Finally, Leviathan leaves the lobby. This has not been their game, but they've been resilient. Unfortunately, Resilient only gets them 13th, which is basically nothing. So Leviathan gonna drop our leaderboard a little bit. Should still be in a decent position, though, especially as we are just now into the 3rd map. Quick look at the map feed, though, does tell the story of what all the action has been showing on main, which is that everybody's been fighting around boat, and Falcons have been bored over on Kim's side. They rotate down towards Factory, look for a bit more, but on screen, NIP, King AJ has 9 kills out of nowhere as JDG get thrown into a blender, and they've got a solo flying in the skies.
NIP are feeling good. I mean, they're having a great start to this Group B. Haven's Hollow, Rebirth Island, it doesn't matter. And King AJ on 9 kills is just looking to keep up that continuous pace. Sitting in headquarters, they're not going to be in the circle right now. They got so much time. They're going to have to cross paths with the Gentlemates at some point, and back in game 1, that was their kryptonite.
Look at G2, though, silently been obliterating this lobby. They desperately needed a good Rebirth Island game, and they've been one of the top teams on Rebirth Island. So let's listen in on G2 and see what they're thinking as they swing into the new zone.
His boys in the water, his boys gonna work up. It's only 2. It's only 2.
I'm about dead in the back, bro. No.
It's fine, just double res us. We can go and play place fun.
Yeah, I got a prison.
They're all fighting, You can double res. Pop that single.
Oh, walk my left. Prison.
You can buy immunity for yourself. Land showers and buddy.
Not bad.
Are you going showers?
Yeah.
Which side? Here. The single.
Right here, the door. Single door.
Hold this one.
Great job from G2 to stay alive and quickly get the double buyback playing for positioning. They do get a multi.
and they do find their way into the prison, which is the big deal. They're going to hop into that second floor, see if they can find a circle or find a corner to sit in just to get that position. They're going to be in a great spot to maybe find some ground loot and catch some people in transition.
Gentlemates have found their way into the bottom side of prison. Well done being patient in that rotation. They actually picked up NIP, who got wiped during that listen-in. NIP gonna fall down the leaderboard a little bit, although they had a ton of kills. They don't get a single multi from a map that could have been great.
Falcons, I mean, they have to be just whispering in the ear of the circle pull gods, because they get another pull down the mountain. As you see, G2 have not just regained, but they have turned it into lemonade now with what they got.
Holy moly, G2 are fragging right now. We got to see what Orchid could do, though, is actually take one member of G2 down, AGAL and G2 fighting, while Orchid maintains a position on top prison. It's a pretty strong position. I think, unfortunately for them, this new zone is going to dictate whether or not this is the right decision or maybe the wrong one. As the Falcons down on the low side, godlike, they've been reaping through the boat, but unfortunately as they make their way to prison, they get obliterated. Down go Intex and Nate Dogg. A decent game for them, but they needed a great one. We swing into a top 7 position, need top 5 for the next multiplier, and yet again the Falcons pulled the zone, and the Falcons are easily in the best position on the map.
Look at the situation that you're seeing from Gentlemates, though. I think they're going to try to swing this all the way down the mountain, get behind the Falcons, so this has got to be where you see the Falcons make a move, but as they do, Sariel's going to catch them. The rookie's showing up.
Yeah, I mean, Orchid and Gentlemates moving at the same time would be the perfect play. It looks like Gentlemates a little bit slow on the rotation, but the Falcons in now trouble as they lose one, down to a duo. The third immediately gets back into the lobby, though. So all 3 up, and they win the engagement. Down go to the Gentlemates in 6th, not 5th. Gentlemates lose out on the multi.
That's going to be Orchid, AG Global, Falcons, as well as JD Gaming still alive, and there goes Orchid with Swizzing going down as JD's cleaning up.
JDG on a heater here in Group B. And it's now down to the Falcons and JDG, and the Falcons go back to back, making it look easy with a great zone pull.
I gotta say, it's another one where you just put your headset down and you know that you didn't have to do much to get that top first place spot. It's the Falcons yet again. Get it done on Rebirth Island this time. An easy pull towards chemical engineering. They maybe had to walk like 5 minutes away from their initial drop spots. And as soon as it goes down the mountain, as soon as they contest Gentlemates on leaving prison, they keep everything north of them, everything ahead of them up that hill. They just allow everybody else to kill each other and clean up what's left.
I mean, it's classic Falcons. A little bit of skill, a lot of luck. Is that what we can say for them? No, it's a lot of both. But at the same time, when you get a zone pull like that, you just can't lose. The only thing that could have gone wrong for them is if Gentlemates and Orchid pushed the exact same time from the flank, but there's no way to know that. The bullets started flying, Gentlemates a hair too slow, and they get caught in transition. Noobs with the perfect read. I think unfortunate for everybody else, there's no way the Falcons are losing that.
I gotta say, there's a couple teams too that I want to talk about in this endgame circle, and it's going to be Orchid, JDG, and AG Global. All had some pretty rough starts this game. AG Global struggling against G2, JDG struggling to get in through Factory, and it all comes back into now walking into the Falcons. You still get good placement and some kills, but just can't close it out.
Well, laughter and comfortability is all I'm hearing over there from the Falcons. I think Ahsoka gave us a yawn, and, you know, frankly, for Group B, it's felt like a bit of a yawn for them, right? They've been rotating early, getting the zone pulls, and just watching everybody die in front of them. Sometimes it's them shooting their guns, and other times it's everybody just killing each other. So I'll be curious to see how many total kills they had as a team. I don't think it was a banger, but taking away that multiplier from other teams is huge. And remember, it's this classic Falcons, man. They went second, first in 3 games. Their average placement in Atlanta was like 3.5. You know, it was a little bit better than 4th on average, and they are obliterating that right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking polished as ever, and nobody would have doubted it. You said it when you're on the desk. It's just, this team is undeniable. And until they start to slow down, like, we cannot just keep them away from talking about how dominant the Falcons are. They're looking good today.
Well, it sounds like we got a quick interview as we get ready for our second Rebirth Island map. Let's take a look.
All right, everybody, I got the man with me here, Vision from NIP. Give him a round of applause as Nip has been firing off on all cylinders. I mean, Vision, how has these first 3 maps been feeling for you? You got the drums going, you're in enemy territory, but at the end of the day, you guys are in first place.
I mean, I just feel like my teammates are playing amazing. Showstopper, AJ. But I feel like our communication is just on point.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm confident we got first today.
Hey, you should be confident, okay? You are, I want to say you are a kill leader throughout these first 3, but you're definitely the kill leader on your team. Just talk to me about, like, how does it feel? You know, you're playing in these lobbies and you got Falcons going second, first, but you guys are still in first place, mainly because of you. You are the kill leader in these lobbies. I know you had 16 throughout the first 2 maps. I don't know how many you got in the third, but how are you finding that much consistency? Is it just the communication, or what are you doing?
I mean, I just feel like me and AJ are just running around together all the time, so it's just easy. My teammate, he's always supporting me. I support him. But I think we have the same amount of kills, by the way. I think we both have 19. Okay. So, you know, we just have good chemistry.
Great chemistry. Now, we saw the chemistry on Rebirth Island with your pacing. What did you learn on Rebirth Island that you're going to keep continuing on into Haven's Hollow in the last map as well?
What was the question again?
I said, when it comes down to your pacing that you guys found on the Haven's Hollow, how are you guys going to take that into the next maps? What did you learn in those first 2 maps that you can take on over to the rest of the maps?
I mean, I think at the moment we don't really have to change that much. Our communication is on point, as I said. The chemistry is on point. And yeah, just a shout out to my teammates. Let's go to the next game.
You heard it here, folks, okay? Shout out to his teammates. Shout out to Nip. They're in first place. Let's see if they can keep it.
We booked Esports World Cup up.
Et on est mesdames et messieurs avec les fans de Gentleman. Bon, comment ça se va la 3e game? Pour l'instant, ça se passe pas mal.
Ça se passe super bien. Ouais. On fait le top 1 la première, magnifique. Ça allume la salle un peu, on montre qu'on est chez nous. La deuxième, ça se passe un peu moins bien. Et là, on est en place, j'ai l'impression. Donc,
ça va, yeah, so we're really happy because we have one top 1 on the first game, so it was magnificent. Everybody's just chilling out and everybody's so happy about it. And now the second game was not that good, but we feel kind of good now, so everybody's just standing. So, tu veux chanter évidemment, mais je vais te laisser chanter avec eux. Mais comment est-ce que tu te sens? Un peu moins stressé? Faut être quand même top 5 du groupe, ça va être chaud.
On va y aller. Je vais pas un peu porter l'œil, mais on va y aller, c'est sûr. Ils sont dans leur match. On y va. Il n'y a même pas de question qui se pose. On y va.
I know you want to sing with them, so you can sing, bro. I asked him, like, of course you want to sing with them, but I guess in one point you just really want them to get the top 5. Do you think it? You believe it? It's like, I don't want to jinx it, but of course I believe it. Like, they're looking right good now, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna make to the big finals, and we're here for that, whatever. This is group stage. We have more interest in the finals. If we believe, they believe, we're gonna make it. Basically, they're ready. On va tout casser ce soir.
Je crois pas que vous connaissez. On sort de nulle part. Un roster de bâtard.
On va tout casser ce soir. Oh le mec, je crois pas que vous connaissez.
Foutez-moi le bordel.
On sort de nulle part. On sort de bâtard. On va tout casser ce soir. Oh le mec, je crois pas que vous connaissez.
On sort de nulle part. Roster de bâtard.
On va tout casser ce soir. Here we go, we're here, guys. Go to the finals.
Thank you, Luti. I love the energy of the crowd, not only from them, but also the crowd we have seen. Falcons have been performing as well. But honestly, we got to talk about NIP because even though they haven't gotten a win, that team still finds themselves in first place.
Look good, man. I mean, the kill tally is just odd. Well, considering that they're putting themselves out of the main final circle fights, they're just kind of surviving. It's just been all the early and mid-game riddles.
I mean, this is kind of the NIP playbook, to be honest with you. This is King AJ rolls up to LAN and goes, yeah, I'm going to slam everybody. And that's exactly what he does, which is a great way to get out of group stages. But I'm like, does this work when you get to that final lobby? And what we've seen, it kind of doesn't.
The pub stomp strategy doesn't always fly, does it? But hey, shout out the G2 pick. I think it was Lace.
Yeah.
Coming out of nowhere going, I think G2 are going to win. Something to that effect.
I mean, G2 ended up performing well. AGAL, we were talking about them, wanting them to bounce back. They were able to bounce back, Dandro.
Yeah, it's really fun to see AGAL up here because Knight is a new addition to this roster, and he is shooting nukes right now. He had almost double the kills of both of his teammates coming into that game, and they are playing lights out right now. Kind of questions from the community of would they even make it out of this group stage after a very lackluster Atlanta. But here, I think they now maybe had a lot of those learnings and now are making sure that they are getting at least out of the survival stage.
And I think the in-game calling just really shows up on this map that obviously has been around for a lot longer than Haven's Hollow, where, again, in the first 2-3 circles on Haven's Hollow, they're finding kills, they're just not surviving to get the multipliers. Now, all of a sudden, you go back to what we've been playing for the last 3 years, and they're like, okay, we know where we're dropping, we know how we're rotating, and if, like you mentioned, Knight, if he keeps shooting like this, these guys have a real solid chance to make it not just out of their group, but potentially top 5 if they can place well.
And on this last match, we saw Godlike being able to just hold that boat for the longest time, and it was none other than let me actually see if I get this. Trick.
Yes.
Trick was just straight up just getting all the kills.
Yeah, Trick needs some help. He needs some help, man. I mean, it's has been the story all year long is that Trick is going huge, but I'm waiting for those games where Nate Dogg and Intex can start to get into the mix because that's when the team's having success. It's not enough just for Trick to be going sicko mode. He needs both of the teammates to help him on out as well.
Dan, as the long-term resident Warzone expert, are you seeing anything in this stage so far, or at least in this group, that's a shock to you?
I think what's shocking, this is going to sound like an oxymoron, what's shocking is how, expected it is. It's like, we're all like, I think this team should do well, but, you kind of come in, land, you look at Group A, you had some teams who you're like, hey, cool, they're up at the top. But for Group B, I think we're kind of like, all right, yes, check. Okay, Leviathan's right on the outside, AGL's right on the outside. Oh, okay, cool. This is kind of going maybe how we expected just a little bit. So I think that's what's the most surprising to me, which is weird to say, it's surprising that it's going as expected.
We all said it would go this way, and it is. I mean, that's not to say, again, you've got to believe. At this point of a tournament, anyone can still win it. But right now, the heavy hitters are hitting the hardest.
Yes. I mean, let's even talk about Leviathan because they started off hot. They have slowed down a little bit in this last match, but if we go back to the first games, I mean, they ended up in 7th place with 14 kills. Then follow it up with the 3rd place, 10 kills. But after that, this last match, it wasn't up to par.
Yeah, they're floating. But there hasn't been anything that you look at, whether they've been on screen or you just watch them on the map, that says, oh, they're dominating. Yeah. It's just been kind of okay, which is fine for now. They're going to avoid being in the bottom 3, but in terms of making it not just through this group, but also possibly through survival, they need to find a moment. And anyway, I think just first part of the map, mid part of the map, end of the game, whatever it happens to be, they just need a moment.
Yeah, I think what people forget is this Leviathan roster looked really good at Birmingham, right? That's how they got here. They qualified through Birmingham. They showed up to Atlanta, and they didn't even make it out of the group stage, right? Yeah. So that's just the kind of thing. I think they're kind of getting their feet back underneath them for being on a LAN together. You got a young gun and Criminal God who's absolutely insane, but you got to wonder, is this maybe some of those LAN jitters coming back? You have Atlanta kind of sitting in the back of your head. You got to kind of beat the boogeyman, maybe, if you want to try and start to get back into the game.
I mean, again, looking at this top 8 so far, still very, very close in terms of this score line. So plenty still to change there on that first page. No worries for many of those for a fan of hope.
And I think the only other thing to kind of point to, and I know there's been some, JD Gaming up there, but this is what they do. They kill, they slay. I think the big kind of interesting point as we finish off the back half of this group is what's going to happen with Team Orchid. I also feel like they have not necessarily had a convincing moment. They had high ground in that last little fight at the end, but weren't able to survive through it. So it just, again, feels like they need a moment as well.
And as we go towards the second page, you can see new icons there with just 9 points. Godlike, honestly, luckily, they had a good match in this last one. If not, it would have been looking terrible just like new icons right now.
Yeah, and I think they just need to kind of pick it up. I'm also surprised to see For Fun at the bottom as well. I think this is For Fun. Their biggest competitor is themselves. I think they need to do a little bit better.
Hoping for a bit more. They were my pick coming into this one. I mean, I saw the social media posts. I'm excited to see a turnaround, but mate, it's not too late. It's not too late. There's plenty of time. Not over yet.
It's only 3 matches too, right? Yeah. We only start waving. When was it earlier that we actually started waving some flags? I wanted to start like really waving some flags. You were just like, it's okay, let's just a little bit.
I mean, still the full day.
Yeah.
But at the point of, if you find yourself in the bottom half of that second page after day 1, you're scrambling. So need to step it up if you're one of those bottom 3 teams in particular, especially if you only have 9 points. What are we doing?
Yeah. You gotta hit the VOD review. That's all I say. Spend your night. Don't wallow. Hit the VOD review. Hit the firing range. Fire your gun. Please do something.
Or they're gonna be hoping that they can do something here in Rebirth Island coming up. If not in the last 2 games of Fortune's Keep as well, they could be looking to maybe see their fortune change a bit.
Hey, hopefully. I mean, Fortune's Keep. As far as maps go, again, I love how each map really does have a different flavor. Some teams looking a little nicer on them than others, but at a competition like this, you have to have a deep pool. 3 doesn't seem like a lot, but you have to be consistent across all 3.
Well, that's what's so exciting with the Esports World Cup is because like every LAN, we've added a map to the map pool. Yeah. And before coming into this, when you looked at, like Atlanta and even just in the community, it was teams were either really good at Haven's Hollow and dog water at Rebirth, or they were the flip. Now that we have Fortune's Keep here, there's actually like some opportunity where if you're not good at one of those maps, you say, okay, we just have that 3rd map in our back pocket. We can get some stuff. And especially where Fortune's Keep, it's very defensive. You saw it in Group A. We had that map where you have resurgence get disabled. We still have 13 teams in the lobby, right? Everybody's just trying to do what they can to stay alive. I love that we have this new edition of the map.
The only bad news is Falcons are currently the best team on Fortune's Keep as well, I think. So you had a choice.
So we're expecting another 2 wins? Is that what we're saying?
I don't know about 2 wins, but top 5s for sure.
I mean, they already gave us 2 wins out of 3 matches. I think it's maybe possible and doable for them. We saw Sophie just go, calm down. All right, just calm down. He wasn't wrong. Everybody, calm down. They ended up winning those 2 matches back to back as well. Going into the second half here for Group B, which team are you going to be looking at, Dandor, to maybe either step it up or just continue on that consistency?
I mean, it's a couple of those teams that we mentioned, right? I think I am looking at Godlike and For Fun, who we know can be, a much better team. I am looking at teams like Leviathan, who we're got a lot of fans here. I think they need that energy. Hopefully, the break helped a little bit. It's just a couple of those squads that you really expect to do super well that aren't right now, that I'm like, okay, this is your opportunity. You had your break, you went to the bathroom, get some water, recenter as a team. Now play like you know you can.
I'm looking at Team Orchid. I think with just the recent buzz and the trend that they've been able to put together, I'm going to see if they can actually convincingly win a moment. Just have any sort of a moment as we finish off Rebirth and go to Fortune.
I'm not going to be biased whatsoever, Miles. I think I'm going to be picking Leviathan because I want to see. Not biased whatsoever. I'm hoping that they'll end up performing well. And I know across them that we do have Team Falcons, which Lace is currently with them.
Well, I found myself with the Falcons fans, and this is just after 2 back-to-back wins. Now, obviously, you're going for the Team Falcons, and them to have 2 wins in a row. Is there anything you want to say to the Falcons players?
Actually, it's not our first time. We're going back-to-back. We already went back-to-back the World Cup. We have 2 World Cup now, and we are coming here to just support Falcons because we have, let's say, we are believe in this team. In all 8 games, we will win this World Cup. We will take it triple at their time in the row.
I mean, it's only the group stages, but you're saying the Falcons are going to win the entire... Falcons!
We will take this World Cup to Riyadh. It's an arm. بطال بالعرض فالكون هز الارض بطال بالعرض فالكون هز الارض بطال بالعرض فالكون هز الارض. We will talk this cup to Riyadh.
I mean, you can feel the energy, you can hear it in for the Falcons, and of course, these guys are going to be rooting for them for the whole thing. Let's go Falcons!
Let's go Falcons!
Listen, man, I love LAN events. Like, audiences like that, crowds, teams cheering themselves on. It's so dang cool to see folks cheering on their favorite team and saying, no worries, we're going to win everything. And right now, I think Falcons fans are probably the most confident for good reason.
Coming to Paris, I thought the Green Suites would have their hands full with vitality in terms of crowd presence. But seeing Leviathan show up, seeing Gen G show up, Falcons show up, there's so much support from all the different regions that we have right now for the Warzone Resurgence series, and that's the part that I love for these guys. Because you can look at the stage, you can see the Falcons go back-to-back on Haven's Hollow and Rebirth Island, And, you know, maybe Hisoka wants to stand up to calm everybody down, but he doesn't need to get hyped because he's got his fans behind him getting loud for him. I mean, it's great to see the presence from the community. It's great to see the fans show up.
I really like what the desk talked about. I think there was a lot of fantastic points, and I agree with all of them. The one that I could slightly disagree with, if I could be so bold, is the fact that, yes, everything's going to script, except for one team in particular in my mind. NIP, I know they hyped them up, but NIP should not be doing as well as they are right now. They are crushing it if everything was going to script. So this is a big one.
And they haven't even won a map. Like, that's the big thing. You're getting a lot of kills. You're getting into, you know, close placements towards the top, but you haven't gotten that map win under your belt. You're sitting in first with 63 points. Vision, AJ are having a fantastic game in a tournament right now in terms of kills. But if you can put that win below your belt alongside these kills, like, that is going to be what sets NIP apart.
You got to remember, NIP didn't make the final lobby at LAN at either Birmingham or Atlanta. This is not going to script for NIP. They got 6th in EU Finals, missing LAN. They got 9th in EU Finals, missing LAN on Birmingham. Like, they are crushing it right now, and they have the firepower to do it. Wars moved off this roster to coach them because things weren't working. It's now working. They got to keep up the pace.
I got to shoot some content with them, too, the other day, and it was like, just trying to get any strategy out of them was impossible. They were so locked into the tournament. You could tell that their focus was just on performing, being there for their organization. They got to boot camp with NIP before coming to Paris as well out in Sweden. So the fact that they're getting love from their organization, they're starting to piece the whole puzzle together during champs. I mean, they're hitting strides at all the right times.
It's a big moment for them. Of course, we're still in group stages, and we're still day one of group stages. So hopefully this is the light at which they desperately needed to hold a flame and wave in the air, and that will continue. But very easily, that light could be snuffed out quickly, even if it is on day 2.
Well, let's kind of shift our attention away from, you know, the success story of NIP. We saw the bounce back from G2 as well, but we had Gentlemates start off the day with a win, and now they're caught in a little bit of a stalemate on Rebirth Island between both NIP and Leviathan. And I think that that's something that we got to talk about, because the desk made that precedent of, okay, what's going on with Leviathan, because they were like top 4 coming out of Haven's Hollow. You go to Rebirth Island and you're just playing the regain over and over again. They were struggling in their drop towards Stronghold against Gentlemates and NIP holding them.
Well, good news for Gentlemates fans is that they are a strong Fortune's Keep team. Currently on our rankings, they're 3rd overall in just raw points. There's not as much data for Fortune's Keep, but they actually have a pretty strong position on Keep once we get there. If things don't go catastrophically, you know, papers in the air, everybody throw their strategies out the window and land on some of the top teams. So with that in mind, I think you just want another solid, passable game from the Gentlemates here. Hopefully they maybe get a Southern Zone this time and be able to play through Living, maybe win out in Stronghold or something like that. But either way you look at it, they're not in a bad position. There's no question about it.
And then for Leviathan, it's just hold Stronghold, like, as best as you can. I mean, it's one of the toughest positions to break from any team. So if you get a good zone pull, you're able to not get bullied away from your POI, then that's where Leviathan can also battle against those two teams as well going into game 2 of Rebirth Island.
Here we go.
See these drops.
Exact opposite story for Leviathan. They need to get back online soon. Fortune's Keep has not been favorable to them. Let's see how things change. Second map of Rebirth Island. A lot of things to talk about, but the first one is we see Leviathan landing Prison. They're in showers right now, trying to figure out if Stronghold's not the game plan. Let's get active.
And it's because the zone pull right away does not lead Stronghold's side. They leave Gentlemates alone. We don't want to deal with you. Let's just make sure that we get some good position and some early KP.
Here's NIP already getting some of those kills that they need. Put some points on the board early. They've been doing this every single game and finding decent multis. Looks like NI not going to go down without a fight. Quick look at the scores on the right-hand side. Continues to tell the story that we've been telling. Gentlemates, Falcons, NIP, and JDG, who, yes, have been doing what they did in Atlanta, but even a little bit better, averaging over 14 kills a game right now through the first 3. JDG on a heater. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Yeah, they're technically the second highest in kills right now. And that's 5 off of NIP. And they were regaining all game Rebirth Island. What?
Watch out.
Leviathan are eliminated.
Leviathan first team out, confirmed. Do not see them on the map. They change things up and they go deep into the blender. They're going to be on the second half of that leaderboard going into Fortune's Keep. They desperately need to turn the tides. But back to the action for fun. Another team now bottom of the leaderboard trying to work their way up. They're trying to win out in control. A little bit different play from them, and they swing through and immediately get the trades. Well done to put KGV on their heels. Weren't expecting this aggressive of a push from For Fun, who believes they can win this fight, and so far, they're 100% correct.
And it's exciting to see what's going on in control because you know Godlike is in the docks and they had such a good game on Rebirth Island. Trick was firing away. So you look at Control Center to see who can battle against Godlike and what's going to go on down there as we kind of bounce around, see what's going on. There's actually been some movement over towards Stronghold and Gentlemate's down there now playing up against a team contesting them. That's going to be Nemesis.
You can see that happening in the kill feed. As of current, For Fun still trying to win out of control. Vidati's actually on 4 up on the north side, the top side rather, of control. So doing a good job of picking up some freebies, but For Fun feeling like they hunt one down and they're able to do just that. A 3v1 is quite easy for Fun, but they desperately need some kills and they need a banger. Not a good game, a banger, because they are way down at the bottom of the leaderboard. Quick check-in though at Factory. Let's see what F&C are doing. Only a couple kills to boot across the board and trying to figure out if they have control over Factory and can go hunting or need to play defensive and hold this POI. For now, nice and easy.
Predict's already on 4 kills as well, so that is big for VC down towards the bottom of Factory. And they're also a team that's going to look to give Fnatic a little bit of a tough time. You can see Predict is farming right now. 6 kills off the bat in Factory. He's going to move Fnatic elsewhere as they try to regain.
Oh man, that's a bummer. Look, we all have broken legs. Everything's fine, but 2 down means you need to desperately run for your lives. More action on screen here. Well, our team continues to hunt down JDG. JDG do slap back. Slappy on 5 currently. Get the heck off our boat here over the Factory side. Unfortunately, gets put in too much of a blender this time around. A little too cracked for his own good. FLS floating in the water, trying to keep his team up and not get full wiped. As somehow, the Vicious has 7 kills playing through Factory.
And he's on 17 for the group so far for his team. So big out of Predict. What a challenge. JDG FLS smoked. And it's not even going to be done. You can see that JDG are still trying to recover back over towards the Factory because you went over and tried to take JDG out of the game. Gentlemates are going to humble you.
Well, I mean, good news, bad news for the Gentlemates. The Anchor was out in Stronghold and gets obliterated. Living Quarters out of the zone as well. And so, yes, you hunt down a kill, but now Inkyo's last alive for your team, and you got to slow yourself back down. And look at the map. You got to still rotate through Living to even get to the zone. A fairly identical zone to the last map. This one, a hair more north, should pull up onto the control side for the late part of this game.
There's about 25% of this map that's maybe not solid right now. You're either in the water or you just can't play in it. So that is going to leave a lot of questions for this rotation in through Factory and Living Quarters, as a lot of teams are coexisting towards the bottom of this hill. Moving into Headquarters is going to be difficult. You can see that NIP are sitting there watching. And we look towards the north side. You see that AG Global, again, good map 1 on Rebirth. See if they can follow up with the good map 2 as well.
Yeah, I like that quick check-in there with AGAL. Knight on 5. Team's doing a great job of controlling Turbine. It's actually For Fun leaving Turbine to go play Control at the very beginning of this map. Let AGL kind of breathe a little bit more on the map, and they seemingly have found a foothold on a great spot in zone, and with some kills to boot. AGAL having some momentum right now. Take a look at the Falcons, though. We haven't checked in with them in a while because they've been chilling. They go get really aggressive over at G2 and immediately get obliterated. Yes, Anchor and Chem. Yes, Falcons will be fine, but even still, G2 hold their own against the top dogs.
G2, again, a big story coming into Rebirth Island was, can they bounce back after a terrible map 1 and 2 on Haven's Hollow? Map 1 of Rebirth, the answer was yes. Map 2, so far, they're putting Falcons in their place, so it's good to see that from Anxiety. Still in the kill feed with Big Man 2. 15 trios still alive. Closing in on the second circle, just a minute 13 to work up the hill towards Headquarters for a lot of these squads.
And again, NIP getting Headquarters for free gives them so much flexibility on this map where their fraggers can go get kills, whether they're playing defensive and teams try to chow them after they've established their foothold, or if they're just picking up freebies up at the top of the tower. Either way you look at it, NIP, a great spot here in Rebirth Island. I'm not sure they're going to have things like this for free in the next later stages, but for now, take it while you got it. As we swing back over to the fight at Control Center, Godlike trying to finally get some action and cause some chaos rather than wait for everybody to come to them. Does look like they've got a decent position here on the second floor of Control. A couple teams underneath and on top.
Yeah, because they gave up docks, Gentlemates have kind of had the free rotation into the circle to take control of the boats, so that's going to be difficult for Godlike to retake it.
Yeah, you got to remember, Gentlemates had to regain somewhere, and it felt like the boat was mostly free. Usually to the water we go. Flank sends one back up into the skies. That's 3 for him. For fun, doing a great job of still battling in the blender that is Control Center, but they continue to find a foothold.
Now everybody's going to be moving over towards the docks. This is where, for fun, if you really wanted to, can third-party a couple of these teams. It's about to get pretty messy down there.
Yeah, kind of. Sometimes it's tough to leave Control Center, though, because this is such a power position in the current zone. If you leave to go get kills, great, but you have to be able to come back and retake it. It's a risky play, and it looks like For Fun gonna try to stick into control while the fight happening at boat continues on. We take a look at the Falcons. They are gonna have to rotate. It's actually JDG who's got FLS out here. Wow. Winning a 1 against Dongi. Does get traded out, but got the full regardless. His team's safe over at Turbine. They're chilling, pushing out AJAL. So everything's fine for JDG. They are very comfortable right now in Group B. And they continue to put point after point on the leaderboard.
I'm just going to say, this is the first time so far we've seen in this block Falcons getting farmed on a map. They haven't been able to leave Chemical Engineering. A lot of these teams are doing a good job at keeping them on a leash. Looking back towards Fnatic, though, they're sitting in the harbor. They got to move up this hill, but they are being contested right now against the Vicious.
The winners of LATAM North need to make some bigger waves here in Group B if they want to continue to try to advance in this tournament. So far, fairly sleepy. Volcom wins 1, though, sending Solds back to the skies. Our resurgence timer is about to close. That player will come back on timer, but everybody else will not in about 60 seconds. Oh no, Gentlemates go down. In the meantime, a big fight outside of the map, out in the water. The Gentlemates get wiped trying to regain. Bad news for the Gentlemates fans. That's 14.
It looks like a lot of teams are going to be looking to regain their way through. Gentlemates get eliminated, like you said, but inside the water, a lot of people just trying to look to get into Turbine, and that's going to create a little bit of friction on this rotation. You start to see now Falcons moving away from Chemical Engineering. NIP have left the headquarters. You see Fnatic working up the hill into the prison, and who's waiting at the prison? It's Orchid.
I've seen AGAL in the kill feed holding the line at Turbine. I told you it was a fantastic spot on the map, and they've done a great job just holding the line while For Fun try to hold out in boat, but no, they go down in 12. What could have been a solid game for them turns into another disaster as the Aussies strike while the iron's hot and now get swung on by Godlike. So Levi goes running for the hills.
Falcons just down to 1. It's going to be a floater back on in. G2 holding Industries. We move closer yet again. Turbine safe. The end of prison is safe. Industries is safe. And the bottom of the dam is where a lot of people are probably going to look to regain.
Quick look at the map. The best 2 teams by far in terms of position is going to be G2 and Industries, and it's going to be AGAL and Turbine. They've been there since the beginning as Swizzin wins another 1 over the top. He's on 8. Make it 9 with Sariel's help. This Orchid team has been asked to step up and make a play. So far, so good, making it into the multiplier. But can you do a bit more?
Swizzin on 26 kills for the group. Carrying Orchid at the moment. Dongi goes down, and it's again Falcons still just trying to find anywhere to live. Again, are going to have to drop back into the map. They're going to land Chemical Engineering, try to work their way back in the kill feed. It's AG Global scumming against NIP, sitting inside of prison.
This is an important fight as AGAL continue to roll through Turbine with kill after kill after kill. Orchid have the top side. Fnatic try to creep up to second floor and make a play. The Falcons, where can you regain? Maybe you glance at Kim. It's out of zone, so you have to swing into the bottom side of Industries. Who's here? It's actually JDG. Melvin gets caught by surprise and then actually swings and wins his ones. It's going to be Noobs down as the solo, and they get obliterated. The Falcons finally will not get a top 5 position with a little bit of help, but PA over the top. Big man credited that kill. JDG reaped the rewards. They have Industries, but the zone goes straight to Turbine. AGAL, the Prophets, pull the zone and have sat in this position since the very beginning of the game. Will it finally be time to say that FIFA Kills team could potentially be a contender for a top 5 as Swizzin, Orchid are going huge in trades against Fnatic. Swizzin cannot falter. He will not fall. He's last alive for his team, but he's able to escape and get out of dodge.
That's going to be full clearance of Turbine. You're worrying about Nemesis. NIP still have a latent hold, and Fnatic are working through Prison. But at the moment, AG Global have the best position in the circle, and everybody's got to come to them.
They've got to have like 12, 13 kills at least playing inside a Turbine. Unbelievable job thus far, and everybody has to go to them.
The only 3 trios left is going to be Nemesis. You still got AG Global all 3 up, G2 all 3 up, JDG all 3 up, and well, I was going to say the Vicious, but they actually lose in transition. That's going to be VC contesting.
Looking for top 5 though. John's 12 kills. The Vicious having a banger map, but deeply in trouble inside the gas, trying to slowly sneak their way in. They actually get a buy, so they're going to float back into the map and figure out if they can hold on for dear life. They got to get top 5.
NIP get a God pull, and they're looking for 5th position still. Showstopper and Vision, if they can come back, that would be a godlike play for the team in first.
Bradke is going huge right now. 12 kills is nuts, but they desperately need top 5. He's actually going to die to gas. Teammates potentially still alive. We swing over, though, as King AJ, last alive for his team, still with the zone pull, is picking up a couple of these players in transition and will get the buyback. This is what you asked for, Seymour. Somehow NIP have held on for dear life and made it to top 5.
And somehow AG Global are now in the worst spot of this entire circle. You get the buyback too, and Vision's gonna join AJ. Things have turned around for NIP.
Unfortunately for the Vicious fans, they do not get top 5. They do not get their all too elusive 1.4x multi. The big question now as G2 falls is who will win this map. JDG might be the most consistent team in the lobby thus far as they yet again get to a top 5 position and a chance to win a map. But Swizzin as a solo on 12 this map, nearly 6k damage. Can he pull off a miracle against the JDG roster who are in complete control right now?
3v2, V1v1. It is going to be JDG against the world, and Melvin, he is sweeping them under the rug. 3v1v1.
Again, NIP, a great zone pull as we swing back to Prison. Vision on height, nice trigger discipline. No need to shoot there. I'm sure they saw him. Nothing to do for now. They're going to go low side. He will take high side. Scumman's on double digits himself. And to be honest, this is all you needed from AG Global. If they can get anything else, fantastic. It's a cherry on top, but they had a banger map, and they were already in a decent position.
Look at the health on JDG. That's not good. Vision still is able to sit, and it's going to be a pull towards the top. JDG have positioning over both of these players.
Yeah, with stems, I mean, that was the right play. They go in, lose a bit of health, stem up, plate back up, but they made the early rotation. So a great play from JDG on the low side.
They're going for height.
I mean, they have player advantage. They can basically do whatever they want. The only thing they can't do, well, it does look like actually they do have some more stems. So yeah, they could play for a heal off if they really wanted to, but they want these kills.
Good luck.
JDG is on a heater, and there's another freebie on top. Sorry, Visions, you go down. Still a top 5 there for NIP. Great job from him. Where's the final player? Can we hunt out the rat?
But I'm convinced that you could drop a nuke on JDG, and it's still not enough to wipe them. A win in map 4 is gonna shoot them up the leaderboard. What a way to stay alive through industry, through bio, into the prison, and keeping everybody intact all the way through, seeing it done.
Yeah, shoot them up the leaderboard. They were already top 5. They're going to be at the top. I mean, that's a win with a ton of kills. And again, I'll tip I had AGAL all the day. They had, unfortunately, all the best pulls until the final pulls of the zone. Once they get pulled out of Turbine, they have to fight uphill into Prison. And there's a full team of 3 JDG playing from Industries, holding them, then able to get to Prison for free with a great rotation early. JDG, it just felt inevitable that they would eventually get a win, especially with Falcons off the map. Bit more free for them. They've been playing near flawlessly throughout the course of Group B.
This is incredible. I mean, they're 5 kills ahead of the second place in terms of kills, but 13 points ahead of the second place team.
They're one of the most consistent teams here. There's no question about it. Here's a look back on the final moments. They were the only team with a full team of 3, and so this was an inevitable win for them. Scumman put up a nice fight here. Nice little play over the top. Almost trades one out on Slappy. Let's listen in.
Good stuff. Light work. Fuck out the zombies, bro.
Nice work. It was clinical. JDG all too comfortable here in the group stages.
And I gotta say, I mean, this is a team that going into EWC, we knew that they're consistent in just staying alive, getting to those end circles. If they can start kind of putting together the puzzle pieces of kills to go alongside it, that's where JDG levels up. And talk about a performance in Group B, a performance on day one. Melvin's got 27 kills, Slappy's sitting on 21 kills, and FLS 19. So everybody's pulling their weight.
To add emphasis to the dominance of JDG, Rebirth Island traditionally has been their weakest map, actually by a country mile. On the other maps, on Rebirth Island, Fortune's Keep, they've been a very strong team. Rebirth Island, they've been fairly weak. Now, of recent, they've been getting into final form, but still, to see them this consistent across the board in a group that's still fairly strong, really impressive stuff from JDG. But again, I know our AG Global fans are going crazy for a banger map like that. The big question mark in my mind, how many kills did the whole team pick up? I saw FIFA kills name in the kill feed at least 5 or 6 times. It's going to have double digits as well. Folks, we got some content, we got some interviews, we got a ton of stuff to take a look at before we get into Fortune's Keep. 2 more maps today.
Playing you're not yet. EWC Play is your all-in-one platform to compete in fantasy, pick'em, and quests for a grand total of $300,000 in prize pool. Build your dream fantasy team in 5 different games and track your score with live results tables. Predict the winner of every game, every group stage, and every tournament. Complete daily and weekly challenges to earn boosters that help you climb the global leaderboard. Got what it takes? Join EWC Play now.
JD Gaming, our winners of match number 4. I kind of feel like this is a bit of a sleeper team. We've been talking about the Falcons, we've been talking about Gentlemates, but JD Gaming have just come out of nowhere to reach that top enigma.
Yeah, they certainly have. They're led by a fantastic leader called FLS. He's a Swede, he comes in. He's known as a bit of a brutal player. He's very critical of his teammates and will chop them if they don't perform. So stepping out here and delivering for them. He's making those comms, putting them in the right positions, and the boys are flying. So yeah, lovely to see them up there towards the top of the board. We all knew they could do it. It was whether they would do it, and they certainly are.
I mean, sometimes, you know, it comes down to the pressure of a LAN event, but it seems like they have just brushed that off their shoulders. Now, I want to move your attention maybe more to the middle of that leaderboard. And I was talking about G2 at the start and saying that, you know, these may be the underdogs and underdogs of Falcons, but it looks like they're not really being cohesive as a team. Do you have, like, any input or insight as to why they're probably not performing as, you know, best as Falcons?
We've talked about them for a long time as a squad that is fantastic online, less impressive when we get to LAN. Now, they did perform in Atlanta for the first time, and we were talking about them as, okay, this is the moment where they've stepped over that hurdle. Now it's about going to the very top of the podium. And unfortunately, it feels like some of those jitters are returning. We will give them time yet, but they have to start to figure things out because the questions don't just come from us, they'll come from inside the team too.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of draws me back to, I think, to match number 2. They were able to sort of control that west side, but then I think it was Leviathan that actually just pushed them out immediately. There was no kind of contention there, and then I found that Big Man had to deploy himself, like, I think it was in Mansion. Then he was able to flank a team, take down that 1v3, and finally finish in that 3rd place. And this is the kind of thing that you want to see from them, but more as that squad and more as that cohesive team. Yeah. And I mean, hopefully they could bring sort of something like that back. But like I said, yeah, the kind of the vibes sometimes hit a little bit different at a LAN.
They most certainly do. I mean, you've heard the crowd in here. You feel the lights. You can see the lights as we tan underneath them. They are, of course, feeling that pressure. They understand what it's like to step out on these stages. And when things don't start going well, it's easy to feel the pressure even more. Again, got time, but you have to start to step up and deliver. Anxiety, we know what he can do. We know the ceiling he has. It's the other two. Can they reach that same level? If so, they will fill that Dark Horse title.
Yeah, I absolutely feel if they can get that together, they can definitely succeed. And AGAL as well is something that I've been watching a close eye on too. In the earlier matches, they weren't sort of doing too much, and when they would take a contest against another team, they would fall flat. But now, I think they're sitting at about 3rd place.
Yeah, they're a very hot and cold team. They have the capability to take over lobbies. They also have the capability, unfortunately, to watch themselves get cut off a little bit at the knees. They've got to get off to them hot starts. And they're a very vibey team as well. They're feeling good, they're looking good, and obviously we want them to do incredibly well today with FIFKill on that roster. A lot of us got a lot of love for him. This might be his send-off moment. Hopefully not, but if they are going to do something today, that would be a great way to send him off.
Well, speaking of vibes, I know two casters that have the vibes. Seymour, Goach, let's take it into our next match.
Thank you so much, Lace and Enigma. That was a great little segment there, and I gotta say, I love the tip of the cap to AGAL. They had 27 kills that map. 27! Are you hearing me? Yes, this is the same FIFKill, the same Scummin. These are the same guys that popped off a long time ago. We haven't seen them pop takeover like they are right now in so long. This is a different team. They're Lanimals, and it's paying off.
Hunk still got it.
That's crazy.
That's all I can say right now. This is great from AG Global. And it's not even just that. It's like that's back-to-back Rebirth Islands where they get top placements, top 3, top 5 placements out of this squad. So getting into Fortune's Keep, this is a turnaround for AG Global to see if they can keep things up now that they're in second place.
I mean, it's a big key factor. Fortune's Keep is a fairly new map, although a return to form for those that know the lore, but it's a new map in terms of the current competitive space, and therefore it's a little bit untested for some of these teams to prove that they are a team that can keep up the pace, like JDG, like AGAL, on a map like Fortune's Keep. Things could totally flip on their head. Falcons are still top 5 right now, and I know it's crazy to say this, and I'm not wishing an ill omen on them. I expect them to win this entire competition. There is a chance they could drop out of the top 5 here on Fortune's Keep, depending on where people drop. This is going to be the most important part of our group stages, at least today, in preparation for tomorrow. Where are people landing on Fortune's Keep? It may play a little offensive, it may play a little slow, but if the Falcons are alone, they may not find themselves with a ton of points.
Yeah, Falcons second place game 1, first place game 2 and 3, and a 10th place finish in game 4. So no surprise that they're going to drop down a little bit. What do we get here, Coach? Where are we looking at for the drops?
A couple really important notes on this map while JDG is getting mixy is Falcons go up to Keep. They are not playing in Town like usual, which means Town is wide open, which means Gentlemates have the most real estate to work with by a country mile. NIP, again uncontested. Over in Winery, those are the two big moments as, oh no. Godlike is already wiped. Hot contest, they're gone. A couple teams uncontested. The Falcons trying to put some other folks in a blender. Leviathan also on your screen now, desperately need to step back up.
Play for some good positioning, shake things up. And we are going to be in for a good day of Warzone. Falcons up to the Keep, like you said, leaving Town open for the Gentlemates. We're looking at JDG, though, all the way down towards the pier, and
they're hunting, man.
They're hunting, and look who's just around the corner for them. It's NIP and Leviathan, two teams that have been having, you know, a good day for NIP, a hot and cold day for Leviathan. So JDG, they might be happy to hunt.
Yeah, I mean, just Slappy hunting, and he took down 2 of them. Almost could have played a 1v3 on Lighthouse. A little bit of help with the cluster over the top, just push Leviathan out, but we swing over to another fight. KGV been in a blender today, and unfortunately, doesn't look like they're getting out of it. Fnatic causing that blender for now. So it looks like Gooey's gonna try to, actually does land the molly and the wall bang. Gonna show up for 1, can he show up for 2? Yes, he can. A nice reach out there to pick up 2 right in their faces and say, come again another time, my friends. Gooey, a 2-piece, but more in the area.
Very centralized circle.
Hello?
On Fortune's Keep. Amir shut down by Gooey. 3 kills for Gooey. Already down a trio. And lots of Fortune's Keep to have for our first drop in right away. So what are we going to be seeing for a lot of rotations? It looks like Falcons have actually pushed everybody outside of the Keep. So that's going to force the rotation down through mid, out towards the terraces, and creates a lot of traffic for teams that are going to now rotate through the middle of this map. And I think that's going to create some issues for teams that wanted to drop towards Smuggler's Cove. Gatehouse might have to move up the hill.
So far, a sleepy Cove. Gonna be hanging out. Not much going on. Waiting for somebody to make a move. Where is everybody? We swing over to Gamax. They've found some people in their sights. Looking for 1. A nice trade over the cross. Nice hold for the teammate to stay alive. So back to BC we go as the Vicious had a banger last map, but they need a lot more, and unfortunately, they're fighting just outside of keep at bay against G2, so they're going to try to regain in the water just like Rebirth Island, and I think G2 saw him hit the water, and they're going to at least send their anchor back to take a look, while the other two go pushing up and play a little bit more aggressive around keep. They're going to find the Falcons alone in keep, pushing everybody out like you said, Seymour. You can actually see just off the distance, barely on the edge of the minimap, that's AGAL. This is where they drop up at terraces. They've been hanging out there since the beginning, waiting on the new zones, and just finding any kills that come their way.
As AGAL and Orchid, that's a fun one. But we got for fun in through Gatehouse. They're going to be catching a couple players out. They actually get caught, Juju. And here we go for the circle closing in once more. Circle 2 is going to be kind of falling in towards Winery and down towards Smuggler's Cove. That's going to force town rotations out from both Gentlemates and Nemesis.
Yeah, we are going to pull to the east. On screen, though, this roster has been battling for points on the map. They desperately need them still. A long way to go on the leaderboard as they try to hunt down any last remnants around them, one below, a couple teams in the area. But for now, shooting at distance while we wait on some of these rotations for some of the other teams. Gamax, also a team, been in the blender, still looking for a lot more. We swing over and see that for fun, near bottom of the leaderboard, is causing some of that chaos we saw in IN. Now, as we swing back over towards the keep area, you can see that AGAL have sent Scummin out to go try to find something. They're safe in terraces. They're actually leaving 2 back in terraces, and they've been getting pestered by the roster nearby. Swizz and Orchid right next to them, and Scummin's actually able to strike for 1. So with the Thorn in their side plucked, they've got to figure out, where is Orchid holding? Is their anchor inside a spiral? Yes. Can we make a play for that? Back to JDG.
Yeah, back to JDG, who just continue to farm Leviathan. You can see that things don't get any better for Lev. And it's just going to try to regain once more. I'm looking at the space around the map and seeing what's going on. I think that AGAL has started to figure out exactly where Orchid want to play. And the question, do you want to push Spiral? It was a yes. They pushed Orchid out of Spiral and flipped the map.
Yeah, really well done there from AGAL to sniff them out inside of Spiral, push out 5K, and go try to find the others. The rest have regained, but they're up in the skies and don't have their home. So Orchid trying to find some footing while Scummin continues to try to throw them overboard. One in the window, though, did not notice some Scummin. A little bit frustrated about that one, but AGL still very comfortable unless they get ratted on from one down below. Do they know he's here? Could he make a play up this spiral and make the angle? FIFA actually able to find the knock-through window. Oh, see Sariel down below. Yellow. Bye. Uh-oh. AGL, nice trade there from Knight, but he is last alive. There's one floating in the skies. Overall, this has been a trading of blows between 2 deadly teams on our leaderboard right now. For fun, actually top fragging in the chaos that is around the keep area and otherwise.
That's exactly what you pick up Knight for at EWC. Just a guy who's not afraid to take a risk, take that height and get active. Cleans up some kills against Orchid, keeping AG Global in, and we get to see where Circle 3 is going to close in, and it's actually going to be further down towards the southeast. Lighthouse still safe. The edge of Gatehouse, Grotto, a lot of teams still moving over. Gentlemates, they can't catch a break on this rotation. Circle is not pulling towards them, neither with the Falcons or AG Global.
Max pick up 1 in transition. Down go New Icons. They're out of the map. We've lost 4 teams thus far. Don't worry, Gentlemates fans. Your team is still alive. They're in Grotto. They've been slowly crawling their way from town over to these new zones. Not much to write home about from them thus far because there was nobody in town, so they haven't found much action. Here's a look at them. Down in Grotto, they're finally in an engagement, playing kind of low side here, working their way into the new zone. He was actually on 5 kills, so he found a bit more than maybe we were expecting as JDG does put Leviathan back into the blender off screen. The big question mark is, where do the Falcons go out of keep? They're going to have to go to For Fun in Spiral. They're going to have to go through G2, who is holding them out on the wall, but for now, Gentlemates got a wall of their own to work through. Stone wall and the crevices that Fortune's Keep offers sometimes offers safety down below, but oftentimes it's like shooting fish in a barrel over here at Grotto, and Hollow, unfortunately, is the fish.
Unfortunately, not going to be able to stay alive. Gentlemates still recovering on the rotation. Falcons outside of Keep into the circle. They've moved their way past the walls, and it looks like they're going for Winery. NIP have been set up in Winery. They get pushed by G2, and that has actually created a moment where Falcons can try to take over the Winery themselves.
Yeah, a good shout. The big question was, where were they going to go? They went straight through G2 and sent Scythe to try to regain his team somewhere, which is going to be low side of Winery. So you're right. Here's the big fight. NIP, Falcons, 2 top 5 teams battling for position in Winery. This is where NIP started. They were completely uncontested here. They've been holding for a while, but now getting hunted by Dongi is a scary place to be. Showstopper has high ground, unfortunately gets punished for it. Couldn't drop down fast enough, and Dongi shoots 2 straight. Cleaned up, no question about it. NIP in trouble. Finally, could be the first time they go down without a multiplier if they fall here in 11th.
Yeah, which would be devastating considering the pull that they had. Fortunately enough for Winery, there's a lot of escape that you can have, and it looks like NIP are just going to get the heck out of there, give it up towards the Falcons, and we see the circle close even more into no man's land around Winery, outside of Lighthouse. It's going to, again, force the rotation out of players from the west side. Grotto
from everywhere.
moving in, everybody. AG Global's got to move. They're still in Keep. And you are walking right into For Fun Esports that will be trying to gatekeep you.
For Fun gatekeeping north, you're right. And the Winery fight will continue as it is still technically in zone. NIP stay alive, but here comes AGAL. They have to go through either For Fun or swing around far west, and that's what they're going to do first. To find Gooey, get him weak, wipe his teammate, Kadzu down. Stumman making things look fairly clinical on this rotation, and no team's in a comfortable position. There's not enough cover here, or at least not comfortable cover with teams fighting each other all on edge of zone. AGAL, if they can survive the PA, which they certainly do, they can rotate in mostly for free, pending this hold here from Team 11.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you got in front of you Gamex and For Fun, 2 teams that you've just had their number all day long. You just had a 27-kill game. If you can cut them down here and move into the circle, this is going to be major value for AGAL.
Let's listen in with AGAL. They're banging one out. Let's see it.
Anything, I'm in. They jump down. They jump down. Close running at us. Close running at us. Okay. Look at me. Get inside. Get inside. I can't. Okay. I'm throwing him in on me. They're backside. Backside. Close the door. Wait, we get shot for a cross. I'm down. Fuck. Can you smoke and res? No. Dad. Just chill. They're on the roof of the building next to you. They're pushing front door right now. Okay. Front door a little weak. Got a plate. You're good. Just chill. He's still on your front door. We can drop down if you want. Jump down where? There's kids down there. Drop down, you're dead. I think they're coming up. Chow this. 3. Nice, get on. Nice, that's a loot. Chow that. Nice, good shit. Alright, you need top 5, okay? Close to the left. You're good right now. Go down. Give money. Oh, unlucky. Yeah, there was another one down there. That's okay.
Oh, it was a great chow. Unfortunately, there was too much fire to handle, man. It was too hot in the kitchen and too many teams swarming around them. A great effort. They get top 10. In the meantime, we do see, yes, AGAL go down. We also saw the Falcons go down with only the 1.2x multi. They did pick up 10th place overall, and I don't think they had a ton of kills. As dominant as they were at the very beginning, they were starting to fall behind on this leaderboard.
Still some path, bottom Winery, still some positioning, bottom caves through the grotto. You can see that's being held by Gentlemage trying to gatekeep Leviathan, and that actually blows up in their face with some beautiful shots from Criminal God. Right now, best team in the circle is going to be JDG, looking to go back-to-back.
JDG could go back-to-back to Bolting at 3, and unfortunately, Gentlemates get cut down. For Fun get cut down, missing their top 5 that they desperately needed. Again, it is NIP and JDG, and Vision's got to pick a target. Finally gets FLS, but can he get the help as Melvin just clears a full squad off screen? Top 5 for both of the top 2 teams today, and they're going to maintain a position at the top of the leaderboard as Leviathan goes down.
This could be NIP's moment. They've been waiting for a win all day long. They've been at the top. They've been slaying. Can they close? They got G2 and JDG. That's it.
Couldn't get the reses either, so FLS is just battling for his life to get the zone and does get caught up in transition. It's going to be a solo for JDG if they have enough stems. In the meantime, what's the main fight? There really isn't one. If these guys can sneak their way in and replay back up, maybe. But NIP completely have them pegged on the backside of Lighthouse here, working their way into a Winery on the south side. Immediately, Melvin down. The only player left is a solo for G2. and 1 solo still alive for JDG. This is an NIP win, unless it's the most generational throw of all time.
FLS is going to be able to self-res. There goes G2, and it is all FLS. He's into the circle. This would be magical. 1v3. NIP looking for their first win of the day.
FLS is him, but I don't know if he could pull off a 1v3 against an NIP that's moving this different right now. They pick him up. They've got the intel. They've got the zone. Just a question of when, not what. Taking the high ground position, could he at least trade one? No sirree. NIP consistent all day today, but finally get their first win in map 5 of Group B. Woo, these guys are moving different.
And this is what could really cut down the difference between top 3 and outside of that right now for NIP. They looked for that win. They got it. They got the placement. They got the kills. And they're looking to skyrocket their stocks into the last map of the day. Big win for the boys. Big win for the program. And a moment that these guys, they don't want to let go of.
And this is a roster that had a lot to prove coming into LAN. And they're proving it on day 1 of group stages. Quick look back at the finals here. Really nothing to write home about. Anxiety tried to at least play spoiler to 1. Could have made things a little bit more feasible. Let's listen in.
Try to jump up. Jump into this bit. He's on the top. Good shot.
Nice play. This is what I'm fucking talking about.
Come on. Let him right through.
And I've been saying, it's been kind of anticlimactic finals for a lot of these end circles, but you really just gotta love these teams playing ahead for their positioning and not giving up these moments in the end game circles. For NIP, they started at Winery, they finish at Winery. They had a little bit of a fight against both the Falcons and G2, but they come up on top, and that is huge for these guys.
Good news, bad news here if you're the Falcons fans, okay? You've got a team that you know can win games. You've got a team that's probably still in contest of around a top 5 position to go straight to the finals, pending how tomorrow goes. That's maybe kind of good news, bad news in one form or fashion. The other good news, bad news for them is that the same teams are winning over and over again. The same teams are doing well, which means you're really not being contested behind you on the leaderboard. I mean, Gentlemates are kind of sniffing at your backside, chomping at your heels a little bit. Other than that, though, I know the Falcons didn't have a great game, but they're still going to be probably top 5 or very close, even though that's another, barely top 10 finish and hardly a kill. Crazy. Got a lot to look at here before we move into the final map of the day, folks. Don't go anywhere. It's about to be crazy on the last drop.
And I'm feeling stupid.
You're not stupid. I'm feeling stupid.
I'm feeling stupid. You know, neither of us picked NIP to look great, and they look great.
Well, then everyone in the venue's stupid, because I don't think anyone had NIP up where they were.
Did you hear that? All of you are stupid. That's right. All of us going to get our keys crushed because none of us saw this one coming. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Warzone here at EWC 26. Falcons fans absolutely turn as they should be. The squad's looking great. Man, NIP.
Yeah, I mean, it starts the way you expect. Falcons second, Falcons first, and then all of a sudden, some ninjas in some pajamas. Looking hot, dude. I mean, they've been the most consistent so far, not just in placement, but also in kill tally. They're, yeah, go pretty good.
All the makings of a team looking to get out of groups. Very, very exciting stuff. What a cool tournament we've had so far. I mean, nearly finished. We've got a couple more games to go still, and it has been a very, very exciting first day of Warzone here. We're going to take a little stroll down this incredible set here in Paris. And as we said before, the crusher behind us, the keys of all of our teams here in the tournament. Tomorrow, we do indeed crush, destroy, not just the keys, but their dreams and hopes as well.
Here for that. I'm here for that negative energy. No, I mean, this is a really interesting group, and I really like what we were talking about just kind of throughout this so far, is it's kind of going as expected, and I'm waiting for someone else to pop up and immediately start to find some takeover moments. AGAL look pretty solid, but they're really not making as much noise as the leaderboard as you would expect. This is the dance of their people.
I'm enjoying this quite a lot. We're waiting for an upset. We're waiting for a massive event, a cataclysmic shift here in the world of Warzone. But it hasn't happened yet, and a real reason why that hasn't happened, a player by the name of Hisoka, Barney, is talking to his dad.
Right, you are, gentlemen. What an awesome time we're having out here at the Esports World Cup. The Gadir City grid is lighting up, and we've got plenty of people here to see loved ones, friends, family, and I'm joined by Soka's dad. Of course, who else's dad is this going to be? Tank by name, Tank by nature. Tank, what's the experience been like since you landed here in France? Because I've been told by Soka earlier today that you got your passports literally just for this trip.
Absolutely. So first time out of the country. Always just flying around in the nation. We're from Shoreview, California. First time out of the country, here in Paris, France. Here to support our son, man. It's a blessing that we're here. It's a blessing that he's here. It's a blessing that the Falcons put him on this trip to do this and do our best and just show the gamers out here the support that we are here for his family.
I mean, speaking of support, like, I'm a dad. We have plenty of talent who are working at this event, who are also fathers. Tell us what it's like to actually be here in an environment like this, seeing your kid thrive on a stage and, you know, arguably be the best player in a game and in an event like this. What's it like as the dad?
It's surreal because coming from our background as Polynesians, we don't play games for a living. We like to play football, play rugby, you know, do something physical, but this is a different avenue to show our people back home that we can do this. We can hang with all these cool kids over here that, you know, wear glasses and all that, you know what I mean?
We're about to close out the group stage. So if you could say anything to Soka right now, leading into these final games, and you know, the group stage, he seems like a relaxed guy. You can see him on the screen right now. He's really calm, cool, collected. What kind of words of encouragement would you give him?
Hey, just know back home, man, you got plenty of family here, plenty of family back home. We got your back no matter what. Win or lose or draw, we're here. God bless everybody. Inshallah. Falcons on top. Thank you.
I'd love him to be backing me up. I thought I went to the gym, but holy smokes. Right, we're going to go into our next game of the group stage. It's time to close it out. Tastas, over to you.
Thank you, Barney, and a great interview, as always, with my man, Tank. Dude, I've known that guy for years, and he has been nothing but supportive for his son and, frankly, the whole community. It's been really cool to see him. I mean, I think he, like, tore down the bars at ATL when Falcons won and just, like, sprinted into the player area to go hug his son. Like, it is that level of support that can drive a player like this to be truly great.
I don't think I've ever seen a Warzone event where he hasn't been here for Hisoka.
Yeah.
That is, like everybody knows that, everybody can see that, and I think it's always great to see that he's got that support.
Yeah, 100%. Well, folks, we're moving into the last map of the day. This is it. Not for group stages, mind you, but the last map of the day. This will put us to halfway point through our group stages as we do it again tomorrow. We move into Fortune's Keep, and NIP is on top, man. This is crazy.
Well, we got JDG leading the leaderboard at first place, 121 points below that for Ninjas in Pajamas after a win in Game 5, 108 points. They are trailing JDG, but still in position to qualify pending tomorrow. AGAL as well, just below that in third place, 95 points. Gentlemates and Falcons rounding out that top 5. So what a crazy day it's been for this group.
And again, I know the Falcons have been playing well. They did win 2 maps in a row and get second on the first map. But the last couple of maps, they've basically done nothing. And unfortunately for the Falcons, that's too many maps where nobody else is striking that's underneath them. The Gentlemates doing well, top 5 now, but they're still a top 5 team after 2 dud maps. It can't happen. The Falcons are too good. You have to take advantage.
But it's also been because of some teams overperforming and contesting them on these rotations.
Here we go.
NIP shuts them out in game number 5. They get shut down in Rebirth Island for a 10th place finish. And now in game 6, everything's on the mind of what can the Falcons bring, and can NIP keep it going?
They Take a look at Gentlemates, number 7, bottom left. Again, alone overlooking town is theirs completely, but they do have to rotate again. We pull further to the east, and so we'll take a look, of course, at the Falcons up at Keep, but JDG leading the lobby right now. That's that leaderboard Seymour just broke down on the right. This is the top team today. They have been shooting nukes. They were fantastic in Atlanta. They were the top fragging team, and they're doing it again, and this time by even bigger strides. 86 kills thus far.
We are going to keep our eyes on, obviously, teams that are qualifying, but look at the bottom 3 in the leaderboard. Nemesis, Godlike, New Icons. Nemesis still have a chance to overtake Gamix, Leviathan, and Fnatic.
How the heck is Slappy? Finally, he goes down. Again, JDG doing a great job with a single fragger out on the map while the other two play together. And they're out actually by Winery, going to be contesting NIP here shortly. But take a look at Keep. Again, the Falcons in group stages changing things up. They want to put people a little uncomfortable. They want to put some of this land inexperience on display and in the forefront of many people's minds. To do that, they change everything up. They throw the playbook out the window and they start landing in some of these hot spots. And maybe this is a nod, like the Mansion drop was, a nod at a team like Twisted Minds of what they could expect into the future. Can you really predict where the Falcons will land on any map, on any given day? For now, Vicious trying to figure out where they are.
It's a good strategy. I mean, you expect yourself to make it, whether it's the survival stage or just auto-qualifying for the finals. I mean, you expect to be there on Sunday. Just make it a little bit harder for other teams to qualify, and I think that's what the Falcons are really going to be looking to vie for. Hisoka, he gets caught on the rooftop by Adrenaline. But Adrenaline's not going to be safe and sound. He does get some help, and
ladies and gentlemen, bodies being shot. The Vicious send the Falcons back to the lobby. The Falcons are done today. 3 bangers, 3 duds, and this time the first team out. They will not be top 5 moving into day 2. We still have half the group stages. They still have a chance to go straight to the finals, but they're going to have to work a little bit tomorrow.
I gotta say, I mean, we haven't really talked too much about them, but the Vicious have been pretty good. I mean, they haven't been getting final positions, but they have been shutting down a lot of good teams.
They won the MENA region by 40 points. This is a solid team. A slightly untested region, sure, but even still, they're putting some of their slaying power on display, and I think they're about to ego chow every... Wait a minute! AGAL are out too!
What?
He said it's just that easy. He's shaking his head, shoulder shrugging. These guys are out for blood.
Mana. Wow.
What
Go over towards Amir and the rest of Leviathan that are looking for a pick-me-up, and they got JDG in their sights. Amir's going to get traded out. Leviathan have been non-stop trying to just get themselves back into position after starting the day top 4 across Haven's Hollow. Rebirth Island and Fortune's Keep has been a nightmare for them.
To set the tone for tomorrow, Vicious's kills there were very important. AGAL was in 3rd place overall. Falcons were in 5th, and they're both the first 2 teams out of the map at the Vicious's hands. This is going to open up the leaderboard a bit to prep for tomorrow. Here we go, to the water we go, as it looks like Godlike's still in a bit of a blender, trying to hunt down the last remnants of Leviathan with a little bit of help over the top.
We're into the second circle, minute 30 left, still for it. You can start to see things centralizing once again. Very similar to what we had back in game number 5. It's going to force some rotations out of town, going to force some rotations up from the south, and everything's going to be pushing away.
Here we go. Looks like New Icons are trying to find some freebies in the water. For fun, wiped, confirmed. For fun, not their day. Gonna have to turn things around tomorrow. Go to the VOD review, figure out where people are landing. Why did it not go their way? Were they just not winning their fights? Or was there something else they could fix? Looks like Leviathan will live true to their icon and be a Leviathan literally in the water, consuming all, trying to regain. Amir has like 4 from the water as we do see another team go down, and that's going to be Fnatic.
I'm liking that we're on Orchid right now because who's gone in this game right now? Falcons and AG Global. Those are 2 teams that made Orchid's life a living nightmare back in the last game, so this could be a big game for this squad.
Nemesis on main, frankly, have been fairly quiet. This is a game that won the APAC quals by like a billion. they had like 450 points in 11 games.
And really, they just need a good game here, and that's going to get them out of that elimination spot. And all they need is one good game to boost them up the leaderboard.
King AJ, nice one. Again, NIP have had Winery for free. And so their anchor is sitting in Winery while the two fraggers go out onto the map and can do whatever they want. There's nobody within a country mile of Winery, while up in Keep, things are a little bit different for G2. Again, Fortune's Keep is a map that they've actually done quite well on in the past. Fairly quiet in comparison, but they're still a team that is near top 5 of the leaderboard and can make a play for it right now with two of the teams, like we've mentioned, out of it. They're in 7th overall at 80 points going into this map, and they've got a nice power position inside of Keep. This next couple zones will dictate how they rotate and how long they can last in this game, but things moving very quickly in Fortune Keep standards. We're already down to 10 teams, and we're not even into the 3rd zone. This is extremely quick.
People are getting risky, and it looks like Gentlemen's are starting to make some moves. Top Spiral is Orchid's going to get dropped down just to one player, forcing some quick movements away from both them and Nemesis. You got Spiral still if you're Orchid, Nemesis hot in your trail, and Gentlemates are starting to move down to the grotto.
Big fight here, Godlike and Gamax. Fairly unconsequential in terms of the leaderboard, but both desperately need it. Trick Empathy on 6. Dangerous said it already. Not trying to beat a dead horse, but Trick Empathy needs some help right now. Nice nade all the way through. Will force one in. Unfortunately, loses the chow, gets barrel stuffed, and sent back up into the skies. The team's still alive, but barely, because they've got a swimmer. JDG overlooking the rocks like hawks, looking for some freebies down below. JDG need a decent game at most to maintain the top position on the leaderboard, as unfortunately Godlight goes back to the lobby, and again, left hit the VODs.
I mean, it was kind of a God wipe right there from Melvin. Nice shots from the perch. Hawks feasting. JDG in control of Lighthouse, in control of the coast. And looking just at the rest of the circle as we're closing in on the 3rd one. It's going to pull us into the center of the gatehouse, forcing the rotations out of Keep into the grotto, where that's where Gentlemates are.
And this is a bit of a repeat of history, but finally they're the ones that are the victors of that history. They've hunted down Kadzu, and they've won out in Grotto, whereas otherwise they lost last time. Big question right now is, can they wipe? Yes. Now, can they get the heck out of here? This low ground can be quite dangerous unless they want to play for late game here. I don't love the position, and I'm not sure the Gentlemates do either. They're going to head to the coast and look for some more kills.
There's a couple of strong battles going on right now. It's NIP versus G2 and Orchid versus Nemesis. Both of them looking for high ground control in the rotation of the final circle.
Play from Spiral here. On the edge. Gatehouse, yes, the edge of Keep. Nemesis, a team desperately needing some more points. JDG finding their points actually on the Gentlemates. Grom able to trade one. Can he get two? Slapping extremely low. Unfortunately, Grom plays around the edge of that pillar, but can't dance the pole as well as he would like to. Goes down, and Gentlemates a solo, but an anchor hollow alive inside of Grotto. They're going to stay there. It's still deep inside of zone and a dangerous place for other people to push to, while off-screen NIP catching the wrong end of the barrel. The fraggers, G2, able to win their engagement, but again, NIP's fine. They've got their anchor in Winery. They're likely going to have to move here with the new zone. This is a big zone.
Where's it going to pull? If it goes north, it's great for G2 in the way that they're looking. But it doesn't. It pulls back south. And that's where JDG now has some great positioning on the coast. Nobody behind them. All eyes forward. And everybody's got to rotate through each other to get to JDG.
Again, Gentlemates down in Grotto. They've full regained here. This is a nearly identical zone that we saw in the last map. Just a hair more east. JDG have been chilling in Cove since the beginning of the game. Just picking up free kills, doing their thing. Kind of been allowed to just kind of win day one. I mean, kind of regardless. NIP maybe could go get a win here, get the 1.6 with enough kills to make a difference on the leaderboard, but otherwise, JDG's got this in the bag, man. They're moving different. Let's see if they can clutch it up with the zone pulls that they're getting.
I wonder who's going to make that first move. I mean, you can see that G2 are looking for space into the center of the circle. NIP will be watching that, but it's just trying to find that positioning. Showstopper, how did he find that inside? He goes down at the front of Keep.
Yeah, G2 are actually on a heater right now.
Oh, timing.
A lot of eyes on Big Man, and he will fall, but he was on 7 kills. G2 kind of safe inside a spiral. It is truly dependent on how aggressive Orchid gets on the north side. You can see the regains coming in for G2 here. Scythe on 3, Big Man on 7, double digits without their Fragger Anxiety being shown. Ooh. There it is. They're on 16 right now. Could pick up a full team of 3. Anxiety just gonna full send. Ego Chow comes in, and Ego stands tall. G2 are swinging for the top of the leaderboard. They were in 7th going into this one.
Where does it pull? Oh, it's gonna pull right for G2. So they don't have to go anywhere right now, and they have the ultimate height. Gentleman's has to move north. JDG has to move north, and Nemesis are still cowering behind these buildings, just trying to find some space.
A big wipe on Team Orchid. Very consistent Team Orchid, but no crazy bangers. JDG gonna have to make a pretty tough rotation here. Would love to do a quick listen in with the team at the top of the leaderboard as Slappy has found his way to 8 kills, but they've got NIP in their way, and he will fall first.
Left, let me look over, look over.
Same.
I'm trying to look left. Yeah. I can't get up to it, David. You can't. Let's see. Yeah, can we kill left kiss? Where's up on my left? Read the back the mouse quick here on the right, bro. With the mouse, come on.
Yeah, go.
On me, cross. On my right. Yeah, two.
Get inside.
Get inside.
I can't cross you guys, by the way.
Very good.
What's on the roof? Yeah, okay.
We should kill this guy quick, man.
He jumped off the roof, right. Nice, bro. Fling them. I'm dead. Are they on me?
Yeah, I'm here.
20 punch. The wall. You know what.
It was nearly a perfect play. They struck while the iron's hot. They felt like they had an advantage, and they full sent in, and they got to zone. But Gentleman's shot him in the back. Gentleman's have lost some in transition as well, and it's NIP's King AJ last alive for his team. G2 are going to win this map unless something catastrophic happens.
The only team that can really fight them is Nemesis. It's a 3v3, and Gentleman's bring themselves back, and they're going to be full squad again.
What a double buyback. Can the Gentleman's find stabilization on a map that is this chaotic? I don't think so. It's just more feed to the fodder. Anxiety's on 9, and G2 wipe the regain Gentlemates and say thank you so much for the points. Limax with a nice angle. Anxiety goes down. G2 have the zone, but Nemesis have the player advantage.
Bottom 3 team versus a top 6 team. What a moment this would be for the APAC.
As Big Man proved that he can compete on LAN. All eyes were on this man right here. Anxiety top fragging for the roster, but Big Man right behind. Anxiety getting the help he needs to make G2 a top 5 team going into day 2 of groups. Now they got a chance to win. Can we get that all too elusive 1.6x multi? With one going down, it's possible that res will pop through. They've got to get some advantage when they get one down and they don't get anything. The only thing they've gotten is a nice rotation. Look at Big Man. He's already played out far right side. I don't know that Nemesis have seen him yet. Gonna shoot first, maybe at Levi?
He's got to find a kill.
Uh-oh. Nemesis also sending one to early rotate, but they haven't seen each other yet. Bray right next to him. He hears the shots and goes, oh, shoot. Levi's down, a 2v2. Big Man having to be a hero.
Limax?
Got a chance. Limax gets gunned as well. G2, are they gonna win a 2v3? And they make it look easy. They finally done it, folks. This is G2's first map win on LAN ever. And they do it with a crazy amount of kills.
What happened to Limax? I mean, you just look over the side, he just bleeds out. 2v3 for G2, and look what it means to this squad. Atlanta, Anxiety, top of the fragging leaderboard. No map wins. They looked good, not good enough to take a win. But you go to champs, you go to EWC, and this G2 squad, although slow start to the group, they end on top.
I know the big conversation with Group B is that everything's gone to script. And I think the only wrinkle in that idea is NIP, but G2 truly proving that. Everybody said it's finally G2's time to step up and step out. And that's exactly what's happened in day one of the group stages. What a win. Let's take a look back on their win and how it went down. Big Man found the angle on one. We don't see the kill on Limax, but then Brave was just a sitting duck. Big Man made the early rotation. Let's listen in.
I'm plating. One shot. Good shit! Fucking go! Fucking shit, boy. Let's fucking go! Fucking shit. Bro, it's only 2 of them. Bro, I think he was my guy, bro. Holy fuck.
There's a celebration finally, a well-earned one. Their first map victory, but it felt like clinical for them, frankly. What a banger map. And it started, remember where it started. They ended up winning out in Keep. They just leapfrogged that leaderboard with a 1.6x. What a huge jump for a team that was knocking on the door of a top 5 position going into day 2.
We got to talk about Nemesis too, because this squad has been on the back end the entire time. Bottom 3 going into game 6, second place finish. Surely that's going to put them in a spot that can actually contend to make it to maybe the survival stage on day 3. And I mean, in a comparison, they were side by side with Leviathan. I mean, they gotta be neck and neck going into tomorrow.
I mean, it's actually a fairly good comparison between Leviathan and Nemesis. Leviathan started super hot and then slowed way down.
Yeah.
Nemesis started super slow and then ramped things up here at the very end. And again, it's about setting yourself up well for tomorrow. The road is going to be easy for some of the teams at the top of the leaderboard. Falcons will not find themselves in a top 5 position going into day 2. Will they be top 5 at the end of day 2? Maybe. But G2 have certainly moved up to the top 5 position. Folks, let's head down to Barney with a quick interview.
Oh, day 1 has now come to a close, and the groups are absolutely popping off. Speaking of popping off, I got FIFA kill here from AGAL. Dude, let's talk a little bit about today. Obviously, that final map wasn't how you wanted to close out day 1, I can imagine, but a solid day nevertheless. Tell me about today from your perspective.
I mean, game 1, you know, we didn't really know who was going to land where, so just getting into the tournament a bit slowly. Unfortunate map 1, it could have been a banger, but didn't turn out how we wanted. But we kept calm, got into the rebirth. That's our bread and butter. Dropped a banger on there, and that keeps us right in contention. Unfortunate last map, like you said, but still top 5 going into tomorrow. We're looking good.
Exactly, top 5, and that's all you need, let's be honest, and give you the most comfortable journey throughout this week. Now, let's talk a little bit about the team. Knight joining most recently. Has he been the missing puzzle piece? Because Atlanta didn't really go to plan. You've come out, Knight's joined, and now things seem to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, we have more teammates than there are people in the crowd this year, so, you know, we figured it out at the end at least. Yeah, Knight came through, kind of saved us in a way, but we've been gelling. It was a bit of a teething issue at first, but everything changes when you get to LAN. I got a bunch of Lanimals on the team, the boys are frying, everything feels good.
It does, and it looks good as well. Finally, before I let you go, mate, little rumors floating around the social media sphere about potential retirement after this event. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about this right here, now that I've got you, so I've cornered you. What? Say what you want to say, my friend.
I mean, we'll see what happens on Sunday. Also, if they let us come and wear a hat next year, then I'll probably stay.
Brutal. I love it. Free for kill. Really appreciate it, mate. Thanks so much for joining me this interview. That was a great dab as well. What a day. What a way to end day 1. But don't go anywhere, because we've got Blaze with another interview on the other side of the stage.
Oh my God, Barney, my ears are ringing from that dap right here, but I got some animals with me on this side of the stage. I got FLS with me from JD Gaming, #1 in Group B. FLS, you guys play 6 map, top 6 in all the maps, and you come out with a win on Rebirth, and you drop the most kills in this group as well. Talk about a day #1. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling fantastic. Still one more day to go though, but hopefully goes well as well.
Hopefully it does go well. Now, we know that you are the IGL on this team. Talk to me a little bit about what the strategy was before you guys touched the stage and graced the stage.
I mean, they're just listening very good to me right now and doing what I'm telling them to do. And yeah, they're both shooting their gun very good, fragging like crazy, so.
Like crazy, it may be even an understatement, because Melvin, your teammate, first in kills, dropped 41 a day. Talk to me about him a little bit and the effort in which he's been putting out and to be able to make these games easier for the team.
I mean, Melvin is a fantastic player. I think he's the best teammate I've ever had, if I'm being honest, and very underrated. I would say I don't think people know how good Melvin is, and I'm just happy he's able to show how good he is.
I mean, he showed us all today, and he made a statement on this stage that he is ready to play, and he is going to be firing off on all cylinders. Now, the job is not done just yet. Still a lot for you guys to get done, but as you know, you're elated with this performance, but what do you want the JD Gaming fans to know as you guys get ready for day number 2?
Thank you for all the support, and we're not done yet.
They are not done yet. Still a lot of Warzone to be played at EWC, but that's going to do it for me at FLS. Studio, take it away.
Job's not done, JD Gaming, even though you're currently in first place, because look what ended up happening with that was...
You guys didn't hear it because
nice.
I didn't put the mic too close, but
I heard
It's a crispy dab.
It wasn't great.
It's crispy. You're just jealous.
Yeah. We'll give it a
Not
try.
really.
We'll give ours a try tomorrow. But at the beginning of the day, actually halfway through Group B, we were talking about how Falcons was doing so good, right? Fortune's Keep was going to be coming. They were supposed to be performing well too, but it ended up backfiring for Falcons.
Yeah, big fall off in those last 2 maps after the start. I mean, second, first doesn't get much better than that. But their kill tally today was not at the level that they would have expected it to be. And on the flip side of that, also that last map, 16th, no kills, really hurts them. They're outside the top 5 at the moment.
Scary. And what do we ask for? I mean, in the worst, meanest way possible. We were like, we'd like an upset. We'd like something horrible to happen. We got one. There it is.
Look at this one. Yeah, you might have been spot on with this one.
That's
Thanks,
actually
dude.
great.
Here you go.
That's very creative. That's very creative.
Especially halfway through that match. But I mean, honestly, let's talk about AGAL, because that was a team that was able to bounce back too. They were able to get, I think, in game 4 is when they ended up getting 27 kill slays, and that's something that they needed because their first match they ended up in 16th place.
Yeah, we were sort of having that conversation about where were they for the first couple of games? Because I don't know, I wasn't watching and I didn't see it. But somewhere out of that gate, they obviously made it back. And this is a team that is obviously dangerous when they get the ball rolling. And I mean, placing in that top 5th, that's where you want to be.
That's exactly where you want to be, especially if you want to go directly to match point finals. As you can see, Team Orchid as well, currently being outside, but it is close enough because of those top teams. JD Gaming there with 146 as well. NIP was very consistent today.
Unbelievable. JD actually finished his top kills on the day and second best average placement on the day, just behind Twisted Minds. But Lace, G2. You called they were your pick.
G2.
I said they're going to finish top 3. Currently, we're both right. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, they were like super steady throughout the day, but they weren't doing anything, groundbreaking. But obviously getting that win in that final match is thank you, G2. It made my dreams come true. Yes, thank you. It's not all about me. But look, the consistency flowed through them. They were able to get those kills on the board. And I mean, yeah, to end in that position right at the last match, exceptional job from G2.
I'm just happy to see For Fun out of the bottom 3 for now, but a shocker there for Leviathan. Of course, their fans have been behind us. They've been very wonderful.
They're gone now.
That's a tough one. That's a tough spot to be in. But hey, what a crazy, crazy day as well. I mean, outside of some major changes there, I think for the Falcons, game plan looked, I think there's going to be some adjustments going into tomorrow. But what I'm excited for is it's not the easiest journey. Getting back into that one, that's a solid 20-odd points they were down. Yeah, it's an interesting competition now. Everyone was talking about how easy and smooth and predictable it was. My ass, ready to rock and roll into tomorrow.
It was starting to look like that, honestly, especially after those first 3 games. They ended up going back to back. We thought we're going to end up rolling through it. But also going into tomorrow, don't forget, we will have Group A once again. The last 6 matches for that group, top 5 will get a chance to go directly to match from finals. Bottom 3, those keys will be crushed. And same thing with Group B. And right now, we're getting a lot of surprises with Group B. Anything that surprised you today, besides Falcons just kind of slowing down there on the second half?
NIP? I mean, it's the easy one without question. JDG had some metrics to lead us to believe that they were going to be good, maybe not this good. So I think just in terms of where we would have expected this group to have laid out after the first opening, Falcons outside of the top 5 is a big surprise. NIP this high up, big surprise.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Thank you.
Honestly, you know what? Make sure you tune in tomorrow because COD Warzone Resurgence Championship at EWC 26 continues with day 2 of group stages. Falcons maybe making it to the top 5. Will Twisted Minds just continue to dominate? All those questions will be answered tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. None other than Miles Ross, Lace, Whole Shift, and the 7WG. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay. Hi, EWC. Oh my gosh. I should cover this. Alright, well that is it for today for EWC Warzone. Just wanted to let you guys know, thank you again for tuning in to YouTube. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That helps me out a lot, honestly. And other than that, I hope to see you guys soon. So goodbye. Have a great day. See you guys tomorrow.